Okay, so Scott, tell me about your character.
Um, a Wood Elf Ranger
Okay,
has an affinity for mountainous terrain. So I'm thinking that they've come down out of the hills for some reason.
right.
Um, yeah.
So
So
you guys have received the letter thing that I wrote up, right? The handout.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's talk about how basically you integrate the group. That's sort of mostly what we need to figure out. So you're a Wood Elf Ranger. You've probably gone to the city of Vaingate for some reason, possibly for trade, or maybe a closer town in the Frostmoors. That's the name of the general area that you're in, which
Hmm.
is up here somewhere. It's actually not on the map because I added it recently. So it's sort of around this area. Um, and of course, this place is all frozen. Um, so you're here, you've got your, yeah, when you were in the city, you would have received this ballot and this letter sending you out here essentially as a justice warden. So it's kind of like jury duty or something like that, but, more kind of user participation involved.
Hmm.
So similarly, Tom, what's your story?
So I'm playing Valis, who is a Eladrin warlock, but really more of a normal guy than a warlock. Warlock's kind of a side thing. He has recently left the Lockhart Valley, which is where he was from.
Right.
And after wandering for a while, has ended up in Vaingate, where, same as I'm sure all of you, has been picked by ballot to go and investigate this town of Graymoor.
Right.
And he hasn't been doing great recently. He hasn't got a lot of money, and he could use funds for some food and a little bit of adventure. So it's happily going along with it.
Right. Well, that sounds reasonable. You've also got a companion, don't you?
Yes. So as part of my warlock patron, I have a little fairy that follows me around called Lilium, who is tricksty and lovely in equal measures. It's this little white and kind of bioluminescent coloured fairy that comes around. Normally, she's normally kind of white and pink, but when she's angry, she'll turn this kind of glowing red colour, or if she's cold, she'll go blue. So
Right.
very similar to the Eladrin, who change their appearance based on their mood or the time of year. She wears her heart on her sleeve a bit.
Right.
Nice.
Hang on, just sorting out my mouse.
Earthquake.
Suddenly all tangled up. Earthquake.
Oh, is that what the camera is? Are we seeing behind the DM screen?
Yeah, that's what you're seeing there. Well, I'm using the DM screen just as a kind of a gimmick, to be honest, but it's sort of to cut off the edge. But yeah, I've got blah, blah, blah. I'm using a cell phone as a second camera with a second account on Zoom, and so this is our battle map here. So if I need to draw anything, and I'm not going to use it unless I really have to, basically, because it's just time consuming and, blah, but sometimes it's useful. So, yeah. All right. So do you guys want to have met prior to arriving at at Graymoor, or do you want to all meet at Graymoor? Do you meet on the road? Do you meet at some stop on the way? Maybe that would make sense to me.
Meeting on the way would be nice.
Yeah,
I'm not sure which city I come from. We could be from the same city and just be gathered by some kind of official or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So you might have been together on the road for a few weeks in order to get here. I need to just quickly check something quickly.
All good.
Yeah. So for Scott and Tom, I'm a mountain dwarf cleric, and quite cheerful. And I'm not filling your ears with talks of my fantastic divinity. Even though when it's raining and there's lightning, then I'm even more cheerful than usual, which is kind of an indication. And for a dwarf, I looked middle-aged, but yeah, that doesn't tell you much.
Right.
Have you got purple hair?
No, that's an image of another character I did, and that died very quickly. A warrior, fighter, battle master. The cleric went with someone else, and the wizard didn't do anything.
Don't
And
you
my
hate
character
that?
just ended up dying. And my character died one scenario after I got the commissioned artwork, I was super pissed.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Always
And 2 weeks before the figurine from Hero Forged arrived, my character had died.
Oh man.
Obviously,
Maybe you can
it's
read
like a
that.
death flag. Order a figurine from Hero Forge. It's a death flag for your character.
Oh man. Okay, well I guess we're
But
not
I
going to be
like the
seeing
artwork.
Amy. Because we were going to have Amy in this group too, weren't we? But she doesn't seem to be responding to any kind of communications, so we'll leave that there. Okay, so you travel to the the town of Graymoor together in a little group. Does anyone want to talk about anything else before we get really sort of into it? Anyone got any backstory they want to fill or questions?
Thank you. Yeah.
No, we can get straight into it.
Okay. So let's say you've got ponies. You've been riding ponies for the journey from the last town that you were in. And as you're approaching, you enter into the Frost Moors. You come down through a mountain range and down a pass, the Frostmoor Pass. So they're called the Frost Moors. There's a lot of towns in this area with the name Moor on the end of it because these are moors. And the weather is getting considerably colder and shittier as you go. And you encounter a lot of stormy weather. It's winter, yay, so it's freezing. And you've got snow and ice on your face most of the time, and the wind is extraordinarily chill as you come down out of the mountain range, down into the Frost Moors. And eventually you can see a road leading to a town, which, as far as you've been told, this is going to be Graymoor. And you're to meet with a fellow whose name is, I'll tell you, 1 second, Oswald. So Oswald is as far as you know, he's the tax collector of Graymoor, but he's become the local coroner / sheriff as well, since the actual sheriff recently was killed. So there's been a couple of deaths here recently, as well as some cattle and horses have been murdered, or rather mutilated, in recent weeks. So as you ride into Graymoor, you begin to see that there's a few houses and buildings, structures scattered about. It's a very simple kind of a layout of a town. It's got a crossroads in the middle. There's a statue of some halfling in a set of plate mail, standing next to a fountain, which is frozen. Behind that, there's a temple. It looks like a temple to the Sidarhael, who are essentially the elven gods, but from the outside. And you get the impression it's not just the Sidarhael who are being worshipped in there. There's a number of different gods being worshipped in the temple, just from the statues and things you can see on the outside. Everyone can. Oh wait, I had another question. I've got Scott and Eric's passive perception. Tom, what's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 14.
14. Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Do we have stats for your companion, Tom? Or do I need to pull some up from somewhere?
No, I can pull up stats for Sprite. If you wanted to, for this first session, we could literally just play her as flavor, because I know as you can only choose, what's it, Pact the Chain, I think, for warlocks. Right. That's a level 2 thing. Right. So technically, my character shouldn't have a physical companion that they can use yet. So okay. I'd be happy to not use physical stats and just have her as a storytelling device.
If you go on extras on your character sheet and manage extras, you can actually choose a category that would be familiar, and you could actually choose by typing in the filter like sprite, for example.
Yeah.
And that would give you. That would show you the sprite as tiny Fae, and you just add it.
Awesome. Yeah.
And that would actually show you that for that.
That is.
It wouldn't have the full description, but it would have those things there.
Yeah, okay. I've just done that. I've just added a sprite on there. It says AC 15, hit points 2, flying speed 40. So that's
Cool.
the basics.
Oh, that's good
I mean,
to
you
know.
can
Okay.
those things can be changed afterwards by you if you want for the hit points because it's 1d4.
Yeah.
So that's between you and the DM. But that way, at least it's there, and you can change the name if you want to. Like if you get a
Yeah.
horse or something, you can also do that from that.
Right. Incidentally, I did mention everybody's got ponies at this point. Right.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And you've got saddlebags with all your stuff. Right. How equipped are you guys? How much detail have you put into your equipment lists, if any?
Just starting equipment for me. So just off the standard array, starting equipment for the background and character.
Cool.
Yeah, I haven't changed or added anything from what there was originally.
Okay.
No, neither have I.
Well, as you ride into Graymoor, the first thing you notice is that there's a number of people. I mean, at first it's just a few colors in the distance. You can see colors moving, and then as you get closer, you see the colors of people's cloaks. And as you get closer, you see there's a group of people milling about something in the middle of the town square outside of the tavern. So yeah, as you're getting closer, so we've got passive perception. Okay, so as you get closer, you realize that they're actually standing around a body. There's a person there, and the town folk sort of turn to see you as you're approaching. There's one of them sort of standing in the middle, who's wearing this black furry cap and a black, long black robe made of black fur, probably bearskin, you assume. And he looks rather gruff, and he turns towards you and steps forward, and the crowd sort of part a little bit away from him. And he says, so you must be the adventurers who have been sent to us from Vane Gate.
Yes,
and you would be
certainly.
Oswald.
Oswald, indeed, I am. Do you have your recommendations?
Yes.
I should like to see them.
I start looking into my bag to get it out.
All right.
Present our warrants.
Your warrants, yes. So Oswald inspects your warrants, and he stands there and he kind of looks at them for a minute and goes over them. He says, yes, very well. He says, well, as you can see, we have something of a problem here. And he indicates the body lying on the ground, and the group kind of parts. Among the group, you see there's at least a couple of dwarves, and there's a number of humans and elves, and at least one half-orc, very tall half-orc, standing among them, and they're all kind of chattering among themselves. And you see there's this body of a man laying face down in the snow. In fact, I'm going to read you a little description. So, one moment, please. A light mist drifts from the loamy sky above you. The drizzle quickly freezes into glass in the streets in the middle of the small town's square. Graymoor's blacksmith, George Gilly, lies face down in the snow, still and ashen. At this point, you probably don't know that he's the blacksmith, but that's what the module says. So does anyone do anything at this point, or are you in reaction mode?
I get down from my horse and from my pony, and hand the reins to Oswald.
Oswald indicates for one of a stable boy approaches, and he takes the reins from each of your ponies if you allow him.
Take my backpack off the horse.
There's a quick little bit of a discussion about where they're going to take the horses, and you see they're going to take them around behind the tavern. There's a stable around there. He says, you should probably make yourselves comfortable and at home. You could be here for some time.
How could we not, after such a warm welcome? This is lovely. Is this how most of the villagers get treated? Gesturing towards George Gilly.
Says Oswald, looking at you. Is your companion inside your hood, or?
Yes. So just a brief description. My Valis is kind of just in all just traveling leathers, very very standard, with a big green hood on his back, and Lilith, or sorry, Lilium normally just sits kind of in the hood, tucked away, so you can't see her occasionally. You'll just see these little white spindly hands maybe poke out to grab a bit of food if I give it to her, but she's normally just, tucked away back there. She's not on show.
Does she glow?
She does glow. She is bioluminescent.
Right. So there's a little bit of light shining out from inside your hood. Okay. The people are a little bit suspicious of that. So, keep that in mind.
Good to know.
Okay. All right. So Oswald.
She can also turn invisible. She's probably not at the moment, but she does have the ability to pop in and out of visibility.
Okay. She can do that at will.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll just double check, but yes, I think so.
All right. Now, you guys got pens and papers and stuff, or anything you want to write notes with? You've got like Google Documents or something like that. I don't know whether it's
old school.
You're going to go that way? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Oswald says, this here is George Gilly. He's the town blacksmith. I suggest somebody here will need to approach and find his daughter. She doesn't know of his passing as of yet.
Does she have a name?
Yes, indeed. 1 second. I should have read over this earlier today. Erin.
No rush. You're all good.
Her name is Erin Gilly, and he points off in the distance to where they live. They live some 4 miles down in that direction. There is a house. You'll find it. However, I'm sure you have many things to do. I also suggest that you investigate the house of Sir Thomas, who's also recently deceased.
Can I have a look at the body, please?
Yes. Before we take it to the crematorium. Very well. So you approach the body. As I say, it's laying face down in the mud, or in the snow, should I say, basically frozen to the snow.
I don't touch the body, but I try to check if I see any wound or something. I call the other two, whose name I have unfortunately forgotten. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. I'm Valis, the
Valis.
And Althea.
Althea. Okay.
Sir Thomas Valis. Eric is Felnor. And Scott is... Sorry, Scott, what's your name again?
Althea.
Althea, that's right. Althea.
It's Falnan for my character, apparently.
Oh, Felnan. Felnan. Sorry, bro.
No worries.
Ranger, Felnan, you're a cleric, right?
Yes.
And Valis is a warlock. Okay. All right, so you lean down to inspect the body, and I mean, as the people part from the body, you can see there's blood all over. Well, he's wearing a black fur as well, and you can see matted blood in there, and there's spatters of blood all over the snow as well. But to be fair, the snow has fallen on top of it since then, and so it's kind of a little bit, I guess it's pink, shining through the snow, and the, what's the word? Frost, snow. You know that business that happens in the morning? Yeah, I guess it's frost. Ice. Yeah, brain freeze. So, yeah, you see, what you will see upon closer inspection is this is huge gash down his back, where something has clearly taken to him, either with some kind of a weapon or a claw, or it's hard to discern exactly, but it's not very clean. It's gone through the fur. And there's a bit of bone exposed down his back, where you can see into it. Yeah,
nice.
It's nasty.
Is there a way for me to figure out with maybe medicine or something what kind of if it is a weapon or an animal that has done that? Because I think that would be helpful for us. Or can any of you work that out? Althea, Valis?
Medicine is not my forte. So
yeah, I'm a ranger. I might have seen a few animal sort of wounds.
You can make a survival check. How about that? Or a nature check. Nature or survival? What do you reckon?
Don't know.
Let's say survival. I'm going to go with survival.
Do you want me to share my screen and roll some stuff?
Yeah, we'll give that a go. How about that? Let's have a look.
It's loading.
Yep,
Okay, so I roll it with advantage or just plain roll?
just a plain roll.
First roll, exciting.
Yes.
Of course, that went underneath the screen of all of our pictures, so I can't see what it actually rolled.
You
was 2
rolled
plus 3.
5. Got 5. You can't
Okay.
tell what this is. It's
No.
not anything you've seen before. It looks too
Mm.
big to be an animal.
Sorry,
Mm.
it looks
Big to be
too...
an animal.
It looks too big to be any animal that
big.
you've seen for sure.
Okay.
You've never seen a wound this large before from an animal.
All right.
Can I look while Falnan and Althea are checking out the body? Can I just have a look around and see if there's anyone shady in the crowd of people that are gathering round?
Right.
Just to kind of look around the auxiliary.
Sure, I guess that would just be a wisdom perception check. Yeah,
Yeah.
just see what you think.
Implemented screen share.
Yep.
Wisdom perception, yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. Ooh,
That
Oh,
is
nice.
21.
wow. Okay. Well,
Nice.
first of all, I mean, I guess you would probably think, just from your impression, you feel like Oswald himself is a fairly shady character. Then the half orc that's standing around, there's something funny about her too, and people have a sort of react weirdly to her in some ways. You don't know any of these characters yet, so I can't really tell you too much about them.
No, all good.
Who else? There's one man standing amongst the crowd who's actually he's got a saw in one hand. And when you look, you notice that he actually doesn't have another hand. His other hand is missing. And he's just standing there kind of looking at the group from afar. There's a couple of children being chased away by some mothers that don't want their children to see this kind of nasty mess. Yeah, there's a drow elf standing in the crowd.
And out of them, the one-handed guy sounds interesting, but I think we'll be able to easily track him down later on. He doesn't sound very conspicuous.
He is quite conspicuous.
The half orc sounds interesting. Can I walk up to the female half orc?
Yep, sure. Do you want to stop sharing your screen now, by the way, whoever's sharing at the moment?
Thank you. There you go.
Yep. So you approach the half orc, and she looks at you, and she says, "Welcome to Graymoor."
Oh, well, lovely warm welcome. Thank you. What's your name? I'm Valis.
Oh, Sarg. This is my tavern.
Ah, the tavern owner. I knew I had to come and find you. You looked important.
Oh, very important. Stay in Graymoor, stay in my tavern. I have rooms for you.
Is that right? Did she? Did we know that we were supposed to be staying in the tavern, or have we kind of turned up blind?
You've kind of turned
Not
up
really
blind.
what we were going to say.
Yeah, I think you've turned up blind. I'm not sure that you had too much information given to you. There's a war going on in the West at the moment, and that's kind of everybody's priority in the city of Vaingate. So, you guys were like, okay, here's your orders. Go and fuck off. Go and do this thing. And this is what needs to be done. I mean, there was one civil servant who would have given you a little, as much as he could have, he or she, but it wouldn't have been much because they're communicating by ravens, and to be honest, Graymoor has only got like 3 ravens. So, very poor telephone service.
What time of the day is it at the moment?
It's about 9 a.m. actually. It's pretty early.
Okay, so we already had a sleep not too long ago.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I changed the picture again. That's actually Fallon from the image.
All right, that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, let's go to the tavern and just settle down and.
Before we do that, can I just ask Oswald, the other chap, Sir Thomas, that was killed?
Yes.
Did he die in a similar way?
Yes, very, very similar.
And have you
Question.
disposed of the body already?
No, his body is behind the temple, frozen in a small shanty we have. How does he describe it? It's like a wooden shed, essentially, that they're keeping him in. It's cold, so he'll stay intact.
He'll stay fresh.
That's cold.
And that's the two deaths we've had, George today and Sir Thomas in the past. How long ago was that?
Well, beyond that, let me see. 4 days passed. Miss Cathra lost some cattle, in a very similar fashion, I might add. Then 6 days ago, our cooper, Quentin Nary, also slain in terrible fashion. It's unspeakable. Beyond that, Sir Thomas, that was 9 days ago. And then about a month passed, Sarg, the innkeeper, lost some horses. Those are the victims to date.
And was that all in town or outlying areas?
All within a few miles.
Within a few miles. Okay.
Yes.
Who was the sheriff?
Sir Thomas.
So
Sir
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yes. Terrible, terrible business, this. Hard to say what's going on. There's all sorts of rumors flying about. We have to keep the town from panicking.
You said you were going to burn the body?
Yes, eventually, yes. We will keep it. We've been keeping Sir Thomas on ice, basically, for you. In case you wish
Quentin
to
Navi, did you kill him? Did you burn him?
Kill him? What?
No, I mean burn him. Did you burn him already?
He is with Sir Thomas.
Inside check when I had a slip of the tongue and said you kill him. I look around to see if anyone is reacting in a guilty fashion. Wow.
Okay, you can roll an insight check. Do your thing. Roll them.
Tell me once you can see my screen.
Yep, I can see your screen. What's up?
Okay.
Is that a 7? Oh, it is a 7.
Oh,
Seven. Yeah, almost a one.
That's a dodgy looking 7.
Yeah, it is a dodgy looking 7. You look around and nobody's really blinking. You know, you don't get anything very clear out of that, unfortunately. Another buffet of freezing cold ice wind beats through your clothing as you're standing there in the street.
Are we all three of us? Are we dressed for this weather, or do we need to find warmer clothes?
I would think you're dressed for the weather.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you knew where you were going enough to know that you were going to need some heavy furs to at least put on underneath your clothes or underneath your robes. Okay. Yeah.
Much as I'd love to go and hang out in Sharg's nice warm tavern, I'm sure we should probably go check out this Sir Thomas fella. Unless you want to do anything else in the town centre.
I think we've got two things we need to do: is check out the other bodies to see if they can learn anything from the way that they expired, and then we need to go and have a chat with George's daughter.
Yeah, Aaron.
Okay, about this point too. As you're looking at this body, let me see, Tom Vallis, you notice that there is in fact something going on. There is blood frozen between the layers of snow, leading off from the body. Like you notice a couple of drops. Actually, it's heading towards the tavern.
towards where anyone's standing, or kind of disappearing into the door of the tavern?
As you're no, it's not. You haven't gone so far as that yet. All you've noticed, because it's layered into the snow, you can't really see
Okay.
exactly where it goes. But you're noticing that there's a couple of streaks, shall we say, of blood spatterings layered under the snow, heading in the direction of the tavern, and you can only sort of see that for about 3 feet at this point. So you'd have to start clearing the snow if you were to look for any further signs or evidence of this trail, if indeed it is a trail.
Oh, I'll certainly go and have a look.
So you start.
Seems
How do
funny.
you-
Yeah, I'll go. Just crouch down, just wipe a little bit off, see if it's anything worth following.
Right. Well, the trail does indeed continue in that direction. I will get you to roll an investigation check to see if you can manage to dot join the dots.
You see that?
Yep. What do we got there?
That is a natural
22.
20.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I like this digital rolling thing. It's on my side.
Right. Right.
Thumbs on fire.
For now. Okay.
A single drop of the blood. I wonder what I could gauge from this.
Right. So you see another drop, and the trail begins to continue, and you guys notice that he's doing this, right? So, you can, if you wanted to use the help action, I'm not saying that you have to or anything, or if you wanted to, do your own checks, you're welcome.
I'll help him. I'll help him.
If I'm starting to move away from the group, I would obviously turn around and go, Valna and Anthea, I think I found something. I don't think Sir Thomas is going anywhere. Let's look at this quickly first, and just call them over.
Right.
Yeah, we'll go over and help.
All right. So you see that this is happening. You see this trail, and the trail leads you around behind the tavern, somewhere basically to the back door of the tavern, where it stops. And at that point, you find there's a much bigger area of blood and spatterings, even up the wall of the tavern.
Nice.
This is around by
Would
the when you're around here. Incidentally, there's this is where the stables are, and you can smell the food cooking inside. There's smoke coming out of the chimney. You can hear the horses neighing and what have you. And some group of children see you as you come around there, and they get dragged off by their mothers.
The blood, is there any indication that it could be like when George got slashed and the blood just went there? Is there like a medicine check or something I could give it a shot too?
Well,
or something else. It could be something else.
Investigation check, I reckon.
Investigation. Okay.
Yeah.
I float my theory to the others in case they
let's
want to try it as well.
Let's try that in character.
Yeah, I think makes sense. Have a look around. I'll attempt to assist you and see if there's any evidence that this is where he got offed.
All right. So you can make. How does it work with the help action? That basically does it gives you advantage, or?
I mean, helping. I don't do anything. I think it's just if you deem it's actually helpful, then it might give advantage to the person doing something.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage on this one.
Okay.
Valnan.
So I roll again. I got a +0 anyway. So. Yeah. So I'll take the 8. I'll take the 8.
All right. Yeah, you don't get any new information from this check, unfortunately. But you can all see quite clearly that this is probably where the scuffle started. So yeah, unfortunately, there's no footprints or anything because the snow's just covered them.
Is there any evidence, is it just outside the tavern, or is it by a door and kind of around a door frame to suggest that maybe someone did in the tavern?
Right up against the door, basically. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that it's almost as if someone stepped out of the back door of the tavern and then got smashed, basically, or slashed, shall I say.
Is Oswald still around?
Yeah, Oswald's still over by the body, actually. But his young boy companion, what's his name? One moment, please. Game is loading.
Buffer.
Mm. Ooh. Well, I'm just going to call him Gwill. Okay, so Gwill is a young man, human. Looks like he's about 14 or something, and he's standing over by you, and he's got a little bag, a satchel around his shoulder, and a number of other bits and pieces that he carries around for Oswald. So he's standing there with you. So you guys are examining this patch of blood. Yep.
Will, who was it moved the body over to the fountain? Seems like a weird thing to do. Was that to get a better look, or?
No, my lord, no. It was found there. That's how it was this morning at sunrise.
I think we both know that's not true, don't we? You can tell us. Don't worry.
What? No, sir. I swear emphatically that's where the body was found. You can ask anyone here. They'll tell you.
Oh, I think I might. Oswald? Can we call Oswald over?
Yeah. Okay. Oswald comes around. Yes, what is it? Have you found something? Oh my, look at this. What have you?
Are you telling me you didn't see this earlier? I'm beginning to see why they brought us down here.
No, sir. This was not apparent to me at all. No one has been behind the tavern due to the fact that the body has been out the front. We've been looking at it, examining it, and honestly saying our prayers.
Well,
not some sort of accusation, I should hope.
Oswald, where was Sir Thomas killed?
We do not know where Sir Thomas was killed.
Where was he found?
He was found here by the fountain. I told you this.
Right. And was it Quentin 6 days ago? Where was he found?
Quentin, the Cooper.
Yeah.
Now, hold on a second while I look that up. Quentin, he was killed on the road a week ago. He was just passing through town, we suspect. But he got into a fight with someone in the tavern over the gods, and Nari over here claimed the gods didn't care for common folk. I'm not sure that's relevant.
And Sir Thomas, where was he found?
Sir Thomas was found. One moment. Sir Thomas, I think he was found at his house, but I'll just double check that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's found at his house.
Yeah, all good.
Yep.
It seems inconvenient to drag someone out from behind a tavern where they're far more likely to be hidden. So
have you considered that perhaps he didn't die immediately? Perhaps he crawled over here. Have you thought of that? Coming to your conclusions so quickly, eh? Is this your first time investigating some sort of murder, is it?
Yes. I don't make a habit of it. The places I come from are far nicer than this shithole.
Is that true? People generally come here for peace and quiet.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job.
Who saw George last? Because it probably was at the tavern yesterday.
Yes, he was at the tavern.
Has
something to say about that?
Has anyone seen him exit at a specific time and then not coming back? Because I'm guessing exiting the tavern from the back is most probably not the normal thing to do.
Well, people did see him in the tavern last night. He makes a habit of visiting the tavern and drinking. It's many people in the town of Graymoor appreciate an ale in the evening after a full day's work.
Obviously, yes. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I shouldn't think so. I myself stay at the tavern and frequently have a table to myself there too. I saw him early in the evening. that I retired to my quarters in order to do some work. You can
We should
ask
ask.
around.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sarg was in there. She will have seen something, no doubt.
Yes, most probably. Um, the the body of Sir Thomas is still kept, but you said that the body of Quentin the Cooper. What have you done with it? I have forgotten. I'm sorry.
They are kept in the same place.
Oh, they are there.
Yeah.
I think we should go and have a look at those. What do you say? See if the wound is the same, because it might not be the same person who actually killed all three of them.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
do
good.
be quick about your business. Many people here are waiting to bury their bodies or cremate them.
Just before we leave the body of George, can I just go over, and I'm not trying to line my own pockets. I just want to go through his and just have a look and see if has he been like mugged? Has he still got, or has he still got a coin purse on him? And so it suggests that it's not a mugging and there's
a good
more
thing
behind it.
Right.
You
Excellent.
are smart, Valis. Nice.
So I tell myself every day.
Right. 1 moment,
Amazing.
please. This is the
Fake
downside of running a module, is you have to go back and check everything. Whereas if you're just running shit out of your own brain, it's
Yeah.
just make it up. I could just choose. So you
mostly
find
looking for evidence if he was mugged.
right. Well, he's got his coin purse with him. He doesn't. It's hard to say. I mean, he's got a ring on his finger. His coin purse is with him. You can't really. It doesn't really look like he was mugged. No, doesn't come off that way.
Okay, it's good to know. Sorry, I'm just making some notes.
No, you go for your life. I'm just imagining the wind hitting you guys full in the face.
I got a beard. I'm okay.
Well, I'm getting cold, so let's go and look at the dead bodies.
The other body.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Oswald wanders over to. He takes you round to the location where it's behind the temple, basically. The temple is a square, 2-story high stone structure, and behind it there's a wall that goes out, and there's a courtyard behind it which you can't actually see into from where you are. And behind that courtyard is a wooden structure where the bodies are being kept right now. And so you go inside this wooden structure, and there's these 2 slats, and the wind is coming through the walls of the wooden structure. And Oswald's complaining about the cold the whole time and how he would really rather go back inside. And you arrive, and here are these 2 bodies, and he has Gwyll unwrap them, which Gwyll doesn't seem to appreciate very much, but nonetheless, he's like, oh, and they take the cloth off the first body, and you see basically both these people have been killed in very similar fashions. They've been gored.
I help Althea to do his or their survival check. I'm helping you. I'm trained in survival, so hopefully that does count as help.
Okay.
All right, let me hang up. So rolling that
with advantage.
With advantage.
12. Okay, you can close that now.
Nice.
It's very similar to the last one. It's either some kind of very nasty weapon with more than 1 prong on it, or it's very big claws. The gashes themselves go about that far in.
Oh wow, okay. Did they bleed? Was it the wound that killed them, or did they bleed out?
In all cases, they were killed fairly quickly, but I mean, with one of the bodies, the spine is actually disconnected, so he would have died pretty quickly, if not even instantly. The others might have taken a bit longer to die. It's hard to say, but there's definitely a lot of somebody's come and washed all the blood off them, so you can't really tell. And the blood that's there is frozen. They do have rather shocked expressions on their faces, though.
Okay. So are they in any sort of position? They're not like petrified or anything, are they? They're still fairly natural.
Well,
apart from the gaps, they haven't been altered.
No, they have been laid down respectfully by the townsfolk, so they're not like in the position that they died or anything. They've definitely been handled, so they're not as fresh as you'd like them. You know, this is not a CSI Graymoor kind of investigation at this point.
Good, because otherwise it wouldn't be us. But clearly the wounds, the injuries are similar. So it is the same personal thing that has done that.
Yeah, yeah. Oswald says, now, if you'd like to see the cattle, I have them over in the shed beyond.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, worth
And
a
the
quick little
horses. Huh?
Yes, obviously. Yes, please.
Very well.
When he's slightly out of earshot from us, I turn towards Althea and Valis and I say, the longer I keep him out in the cold, the happier it's making me right now.
Would you open up the gates to the shed, please? I'm tired. I'm going inside now.
Damn it.
Glass of ale, and he's mutter, mutter, mutter. Off he goes.
And did he say he was going to the tavern? Is that where he is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll reconvene with him in a bit. We'll take a wander and have a look at the horses and cows first. If you guys are done with this body.
I think so.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So you go over to this big shed that's at the edge of the main part of the town, and Gwyll opens up the gate to take you in. You see there's a little girl poking her nose through the slats to sort of seems to be following you around. And you go in, and there's a stack of cows and horses and some carts, which also seem to be covered in blood, funnily enough, sitting in here. And you go inside, and you are confronted with a stack of dead animal. What are you going to do?
And they've not been eaten or anything like that. They've just been assaulted and killed.
Well, okay. So on closer inspection, yeah, that's. You can roll your investigation checks. I think that would be fair.
All of us?
Do we each roll our own?
Unless you want to help one another. Yeah, you can.
I want to try my own roll. Right. I got +0. I'm going to kill that one.
Let's all try one in this instance.
Okay, so who's starting?
You can.
It's a 15 from me. I can share my screen.
We should roll initiative. No,
for dead animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear.
That's a 5 for me.
But you should be rolling with advantage because these guys are. Oh no, because you're rolling separately, aren't you? Oh
yeah,
well.
so it'll be 3
okay,
rolls.
so that's a 5. Never mind then. All right, who's next?
15 from me.
15 for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's pretty good. All right, and I'll just wait to see what Scott gets before I start describing anything.
Not 20.
Do it.
Do it.
There is
no.
Oh, okay. So you don't see shit. Well, actually, 12 is not.
That's
terrible.
a 12.
That's a 12.
Yeah,
That's not
okay.
terrible.
Yeah.
It's really hard to see the numbers on the actual dice. It's lucky it pops up with the actual final result.
Yeah, I think it's manipulative design on their part. They're trying to get you to buy dice sets that are a little bit clearer to understand, I think.
Right. That's probably exactly right. I wouldn't at all
Yeah.
be surprised. Okay, so Tom, what you noticed, and Scott, you'll see this too, but Tom, you probably noticed this first. The wounds on this cattle are not the same as the wounds that you've seen on the humans. They're similar, but they're not really the same. They're attacked in different places. They're not always attacked. I mean, the thing about the humans is they've basically all been gashed in the back. Not one of them has been attacked from the front.
And it just looks like a single gash. It's not like someone's been dagging in with daggers for
exactly.
a minute or two.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a
and
single...
these horses, is it the same? Is it like multiple gashes, or is there bite marks as well? Or
there are bite marks as well. Yeah.
We're assuming bestial. And now that we're a little bit away from the crowds and the people, and Oswald's gone, I'm gonna tug on my hood a couple of times and just ask.
Quill is still here though.
Kind of sit on my shoulder, and I just want to ask her, like, this seems funny. I mean, we've dealt with wolves and with things in the forests and stuff, but this is brutal. Do you know what's done this? Is this anything from like the Feywild? Because it seems quite harsh for the human realm.
So you guys noticed this fairy come out of his hood. You would have seen it before, though, because you've been traveling for a good week or so.
Yeah, he would have introduced herself a couple of times.
Okay, so she flies out from your hood, and she zooms down to the horses and stuff, and you see her go around and investigate all over the place, up and down the shed. And
I look at Gwyll to see how he reacts when he sees that.
Right. And as she's looking at everything, she comes back to you. She just sort of shakes her head.
I thought that might be the case. Anyway, I'm gonna get my dagger out, and I'm gonna just cut a little bit of flesh off one of the horses, or probably one of the cattle. One of the fresher bits. Lily likes eating meat, so I'm just gonna get her maybe a little bit of food and check if she's
all right.
If she's up for a meal, or if it turns her stomach. And
while you're doing that, I'm going to get Scott and Eric to make wisdom perception checks.
Okay. Perception.
Nice, lots of 9s.
Yeah. Okay, you don't notice anything.
Okay.
Next.
And Scott.
That's more like it.
Nice.
Ooh, okay. You hear the sound of something sliding across the back of the door where you are.
Sliding across.
Yeah, like the door's been closed, and then you notice that you notice
locked in.
You've been locked in. That's what you've noticed, essentially. Yeah. The other two are still too busy looking at cattle and animals.
We're oblivious to this, I'm guessing.
By the way, it's quite dark in here, essentially. If you've got dark vision, that certainly helps. But as far as actual sunlight goes, it's not an awful lot.
I'm a dwarf. I'm good.
Elf's fine. So I'll move over and try the door to see if it actually is locked.
It rattles slightly, but it's solid.
Did you say there was like a hole that a little girl was peeking through?
Yep, a crack, basically a crack between boards.
I'm just going to ask Lily. That's weird. Do you mind just seeing if there's anyone outside? And I'm just going to try and get the little sprite to fly out the gap and just see if she can see anyone.
Gap's too small.
Too small.
The gap's too. She tries to get through. She shakes her head. She can get like one arm and a leg through it, but her wings and her body are just not quite small enough to get through.
Someone's been chugging too many lollies.
Okay, but at that point, you start to smell smoke.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
So, as
Do
in
do
the
I
barn.
notice that as well now, or
What's Eric? Your perception's 12. Your passive perception. Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, sure. You guys all notice this. There's the smell of smoke starts to fill the room, the shed that you're in, and then you
crap?
begin
Are
to
they
hear the
burning
sound
it already? We should get out.
hear the crackling of a fire.
Yeah, I think it's time
I
to
go to
bust
the
the
door.
door down or bust the wall open.
What
Yeah.
do you mean? Just open the door.
It's
The
locked.
door's
Sophia, open
locked.
the door.
The door is locked, my
Just
friend.
put your back into it. Just put your back
Come,
into it.
my
I tried
dwarven
to.
friend, you try.
Okay, I tried to open it, but because I think Althea's probably hasn't been trying hard enough, I actually try very hard to break the door.
Okay. Were you just using your hands or what? How do you go about it? Do you do it? Do you
I got a
charge?
warhammer. I'm a dwarf. I've got a warhammer.
All right.
I use the
Okay.
warhammer.
Well, at that point, you notice that there's definitely smoke coming through various cracks in the building, and it seems like the roof might be on fire. In fact, you're beginning to
Okay.
see sparks of it now.
Can I just have a look around? I'm just doing a quick pass. Is there anything we need to grab in this building before we bail? Like, is there anything that looks like it could be important?
Besides dead animals and a couple of
Or
carts.
is it literally just dead animals?
Yeah, it's pretty much dead animals. There's a few farming tools and implements lying around.
Fine, that can all be left.
Yep. There's nothing here that you think is vitally important to your investigation or survival.
All right.
What do I do to try to open the door?
Okay, well, you can either make a strength check or you can attack the door.
I'm gonna attack the door.
Attack the door.
Good
I'm a
choice.
dwarf.
All right. So give me I'll tell you what. We'll use a strength check basically as an attack on the door because you mean it's the AC is not really relevant.
Okay.
We really just need to know how much damage you can do per round on the door. And when I say it's a door, it's a.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh wow!
It's time to break stuff. Then I'm gonna do a nice roll.
All right.
It's about breaking stuff.
All right.
Some
Strong,
damage.
stout little man.
Warhammer damage on the door.
Warhammer damage. I use both hands because I don't need my shield.
Yeah.
Hopefully the door is not gonna hit me again. Hit
All
me
right.
back.
Okay. Yeah, you put a bit of a crack in it.
And
Do I roll twice
One of the
as a crit?
panels. You can.
Is it a second D10, 2D10, or do you
Yes,
double
it should be.
the
It
dice?
should be.
Okay.
I would roll a second D10.
Cool.
So that would be +8. So that would be 14 overall on
14. Okay. All right. You smash one of the panels, and that's so. There's a crack there's a piece about that wide that's broken
that.
off,
Okay.
and about that.
I keep hammering at it.
All right.
Hammering at it.
Now the roof's definitely on fire, and there's bits of straw and what have you falling down because the roof's made out of straw essentially, and there's bits and flakes of lit firelit straw falling from the ceiling around you now. And
All right.
the dwarf is hammering on the door madly. He's trying to bash it down. Give us another attack on the door, if you will. So what are you guys doing while he's doing that?
I am not very physical, so I'll just go and help how I can. I'll try and pry some wood away and tell him if there's a spot that looks like it's more liable to give if you hit.
Wow.
That's amazing.
All right. Awesome. Okay.
What are the odds?
Okay, 2D10. I'm gonna roll 2D10 +2.
Falna, door ender.
6. Nope, not really. Not
right.
with the 6 points of damage.
Right. The problem with the door is it's got a lot of metal struts in it. So as much as you can smash the wood away, there's still a bunch of metal struts there that are kind of containing you. So it's definitely looks like it's about halfway towards being smashed open to the point where you could actually get through it. At this point, a log of lit fire, like one of the beams, collapses down into the center.
All right. Time. I think we're all getting involved. I'm gonna get my walking staff out and start jamming it in and trying to prise prize bits of wood away, just trying
There's
to get out now.
a lot of straw that's been kept underneath the, like, what do you call it? Essentially like an attic. You've got like a ceiling and then a floor there where there's a lot of straw up there, and that's very quickly caught on fire, and that's burnt through the floorboards, which are beginning to collapse and break through. And there's straw all over the floor in here as well, surrounding the dead animals. It's what this room is normally used for.
Do I see anyone through the opening that I have created?
No, you don't.
Okay. Too bad. Otherwise, I would have been comment time. Open the door.
There is enough space now for your sprite to get out.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll Lily recon, and I'll send her darting out to go do a lap and see if she can see anyone running away.
All right, she zooms off, but you're still here. So who wants to attack the door again?
I'll continue, but if someone wants to help me or something.
Balnan, you are our guy when it comes to doors. You're the expert.
Yeah. We'll help. We'll cheer.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, if there's help, can I have advantage?
Yes, you can.
They're cheering me on.
Yep. For
Cool.
sure. Okay. Ooh. Oh, nice. You didn't even need advantage for that. Okay. All right. Let's do some damage. Really? And another dice.
I'll ask.
No, that was not a critical. That was not a natural 20 on the check.
Oh, bugger.
That was 18 plus 2.
All right. Well, you finally break off one of the struts, and it's going to be a strength check to actually bend it open.
Okay. Still with cheers from my cheerleaders?
Yeah, these guys are helping.
Oh yeah. We'll help.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. You bend the strut far enough that you guys can start climbing out before the fire reaches the area that you're in. But you're beginning to choke, and the smoke is filling the room up. Okay, so the three of you come climbing out through the hole in the door. All right, now you're standing outside, and your fairy comes zooming back to you, and she points to the ground over in the snow.
Yeah.
So
dart over to where she's pointed.
All right, you see there's a bunch of tracks there. They look like animal tracks.
I put my shield on my arm.
Okay.
And I look around, trying to see if I see anyone.
Okay,
I'll have a look at the tracks and see if I can tell what they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can make a nature check, or actually a survival check for that.
Nice.
13. Okay. Yeah, these look like wolf tracks, you would say. That's typically what this would look like, yeah. And not huge wolf tracks, just fairly normal looking wolf tracks.
Bipedal or four-legged?
Four-legged. Four-legged. But they get you also notice that they kind of intersect where that little girl's tracks were walking around the outside of the building, and she's clearly walked around in a big circle around the whole building, looking for holes to peek in at you. And then it's hard to tell whether she's gone back to the town or not because the snow's still pouring in at the moment. But you can see that she sort of seems to have come from the town at least and has circled the building at least once or twice. And those tracks intersect with the wolf tracks as well. So it's hard to know whether they are at all involved with one another.
The wolf tracks are fresh when they were coming from out of town in, or where were they going? Where are they coming from?
You can only see wolf tracks leading away from the shack, from the shed. Often
leading away out of town.
Out of town towards the forest in the distance.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest out here. A wolf is not going to throw a torch and light a building on fire. I don't think that's the problem here.
They lack the posable thumbs to lock us in.
They're smart animals. Come on.
Oh yeah, no, clearly they're smart animals, but I mean, come on, lighting a torch and throwing it. Hmm.
Okay. Well,
But
clearly
it
we've
doesn't mean that they weren't with somebody who was doing that, though.
Oh right, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Althea, you are a ranger, aren't you?
Yes.
So you would know all those things about animals, companions, and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you talk to animals?
Not recently, no.
Ah, okay. Because otherwise, you could have talked to find a wolf and asked the wolf what happened.
What's going on?
Let's try to
Oh,
find the
incidentally,
girl.
yeah. Yeah,
incidentally, just a little bit of background information, world related information. There are two suns in this world. One is called Solum Pingal, and the other one is called Ida Solum. One is bigger than the other, so there's always these two shadows. There's always this sort of strange light, especially when both suns are up at the same time. And the moon itself was destroyed many thousands of years ago, and so what you have is this stream of shattered pieces across the sky that light up like huge chunks of architecture. The story goes that it was in fact the moon goddess's temple, and these pieces of that temple are still floating in the sky. And if you look up on certain days when it's very, very clear, and if you've got good eyesight, once in a while someone said that they can see dragons jumping from one piece to the other,
Oh
that kind
wow!
of thing. So the story is that the moon goddess was destroyed in that temple when it was destroyed because apparently the orc god Grumpsh fired this meteor that he forged in hell at it in order to get back at Corellon Lrathian, the god of the elves, just generally speaking, because Corellon took his eye back at the beginning of time. This is the story. So this is mostly just flavor, but it could be useful just to know lighting conditions and generally what you're in for. Okay. Any questions? Nope. Cool.
Watched
Okay.
a few of your videos on the backstory, so I heard
So,
that stuff. It's
oh,
cool.
you've looked into
I don't know what it has to do with a wolf.
right. I don't know whether I know that some of you guys have looked into more of the backstory than others, and I'm not sure who knows what. So that's why I thought I better throw it in just to make sure.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool. All right. As you were.
Should we go hunting for this little girl?
I think we should follow and try and find her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's try to find the little girl.
Follow her tracks.
Yeah. Follow the.
All right. Well, Gwill is with you too, by the way. And he was.
So he was with us in the shack.
In the shack, yeah.
I'm checking up on him. Like, is he breathing okay? Is he? Because we're grown ups, we're adults, we're good.
Right.
But he's a kid. So how is he doing?
He's scared and shocked and frightened and kind of exhilarated at this point. So yeah, he's like, what was that? What happened to us? Who set the fire? Somebody's trying to kill us.
Exciting, isn't it?
Don't worry, probably not you, probably us.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better.
That's good. Yeah, it should. It should. That's the point. I take some snow and I wipe his face from the soot, and with the snow. The cold should hopefully do something for him.
I'd better go back tell Oswald.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. You should walk by yourself without us to protect you. That's a great idea. I try to put as much sarcasm as I can when I say that.
Oh, well, you think perhaps we should stay together then? Yes, that's a good idea. Yes, I'll stay here with you.
And we are gonna go and try to find that little girl. Do you know the little girl? I didn't see it, but Alice, you saw her. Could you describe her to Quill? To Gwill, maybe he'll know.
I would love to, and I'll attempt to describe the girl as best I can from what we saw.
All right. Give me a intelligence check.
Yeah. camera's in the way. 6.
6. She was a little girl. She had long brown hair. You couldn't tell the color of her eyes. You couldn't really even tell the color of her hair. She wore fairly nondescript looking clothes. It's a very general description. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You couldn't even really tell
Well,
how tall she was.
I'll
She
tell
was,
Will anyway. There can't be too many people in this town.
right.
Is it quite a little town? Is that what we
Yeah,
gathered?
it's pretty small. There's a couple of hundred people in the overall
Okay.
entire town.
Yeah.
A few dozen families.
Will, any idea who this girl could be?
It could be Susan. It could be Becky. It could be Laddie. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't see her. I could have a think about it and maybe ask some questions.
Let's go see if maybe Oswald or anyone in the tavern knows anything.
Yes, that's a good idea. All right. Is that the group consensus?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
At the very least, we need to go get Will back to Oswald, and it seems like there's a few things to investigate down that way. So I'm happy to move on. We're all safe. Out of interest, is the barn basically just burnt down now?
Yeah, it's still burning and it's collapsing in on itself at this point.
And none of the villagers give a
Oh,
fuck. They haven't like come over or tried to put it out.
That's true. The villagers are probably at this point they're bringing horses and carts with water and stuff. I mean, to be fair, it's also snowing, so it's going to go out. It's not like but they're definitely pouring out of their houses to head this direction. It took them a little while to get their shit together, to be fair, mostly because I forgot what.
All good. All right.
So yeah,
seems like the villagers. Let's go back to the tavern. Did we catch the name of the tavern earlier?
Yeah, it's the Graymoor Bend Tavern. I'm going to write that into the chat so you can see.
Graymoor Bend.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name? Quill. Whoops, Oswald has one L, but anyway, hey. All right.
All right, back to the tavern.
All right, back to the tavern. So you get to the tavern. At this point, the other body has been moved. It's gone. And the people have dispersed. And now they're worrying about the fire. So that's the new issue. So when you go into the tavern, if you do go into the tavern, you see the half-orc Sarg is standing in there, and she's giving directions to some of her staff as to how to deal with the tables and what they're going to be doing later on in the day, and just general preparation and things. She seems to be a bit on edge because of what's going on. She acknowledges you as you come in. Ah, you come back. I see. Big fire.
Yeah.
You need rooms now, huh?
No,
Yes, please.
we.
That'd be great.
Actually, I have a question to ask you first.
Question.
Yes. Last night, apparently, George was here drinking as per his habit. What time did you happen to see him exit your tavern through the back door?
Last see him before midnight.
Was
And
he
what was he
with
doing?
someone? Oh, yes, sorry.
No.
Drinking with others, many others. Big town group come drinking.
Anyone that's here tonight that we might be able to speak with?
All the same ones, I think. Usuals.
Was he fighting with someone? Did he have any enemy?
I not think so.
I described the little girl that when I heard Valis describe the girl to
Mhm.
Gwyll, I described the girl to the woman.
To Sarg.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me another intelligence roll.
Oh shit. You sure I can't use strength for that?
Strength. Yeah. She shrugs her shoulders. She doesn't seem to. Could be many girls in this town. Maybe 50 girls live around here.
Wow, that's a big ass town. Yeah,
Every
because
family,
she
many
might.
children.
Yeah, it's just that she may have seen who tried to burn us down in that shed.
You were in the shed.
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you know who started the fire there?
Who started the fire? No idea who started the fire. Maybe ask around the town.
Yeah. Do we want to do you want a room? Do you guys want to have the same room or do you want separate? If we share, we're probably going to be safer.
Yeah,
I have
I'm
two
not
rooms
feeling
available.
overly safe in Graymoor, and it's cheaper. I'm happy to bunk with you guys.
Do we have to pay for the room? I thought that was
Well,
part
I
of
hope it's
where
on
they were.
expenses.
Yeah.
Yep, the room is covered by Oswald.
Oh, okay, good.
Although
That's
to be
good.
fair, he's only paid for 2 rooms, so there you go.
Um, so I'm asking the question now. So Valis and Althea, male or female?
Alice is male.
Okay.
Hadn't really thought about it. Female. Sounds a female name.
I mean, I'm guessing you don't have to unless Russell is like, yes, it's a girl. You have to. I think hopefully it's your character. You could have a little bit of a choice on that.
Yeah. As far as I was concerned, you can do whatever you want. You can change the name if you want. I mean, these are just base stats. That's all I care about, really. I didn't create backgrounds for these characters because I figured you'd eventually. I didn't even know if it would be worthwhile. It's just a one shot, you know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not important. I am, however, going to have to go to the bathroom.
Clearly, Fallon is female, obviously,
Hopefully,
as you can see.
hold on for a few. I'll be back shortly. Talk among yourselves.
No rush, all good.
Hello.
Yeah, so we just solved the whole mystery. We know who did it.
Great.
We had a
Awesome.
big brainstorm.
Okay, so you can all have 10 million XP
Yeah.
Nice.
and go up 12 levels. Or fuck it, 19 levels, why not? Okay, so where did I leave you? You're in the tavern, right?
Yeah.
All
In the
right.
tavern, talking to Sarg, we know that George Gilly was obviously murdered behind the tavern yesterday. There was a big gash in his back, the same as Sir Thomas, the same as a lot of the animals.
Mhm.
We know he was in here around midnight, just before midnight. We know he was with a bunch of people, probably the same people that are in the tavern at the moment. So we can maybe go have a conversation with them in a sec. And Oswald, is Oswald anywhere to be seen? Have we given Will back to Oswald yet? Or have we still got this little child hanging out with us?
You've still got Gwyll with you at the moment, but if you're interested, you could ask Will where Oswald is, and he'll no doubt tell you.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
I think we need to look after Will. So yeah, I'd probably get Will to go run off to Oswald and just go tell Oswald what's happened. I'd be interested to see if he has anything to say about it while we carry on talking to Sarg.
All right. Well, Oswald is in a room just behind the stairs, on the first floor of the tavern, and he comes out. So we've found something, I take it.
Yep, someone tried to kill us.
What? Why have I not heard of this?
Because it just happened. So we're telling you.
You look terrible. What? You stink. You're covered in ash. What have you been doing?
Escaping from the place with the horses and cattle that was locked and burned. Set on fire, anyway.
I see.
Did
That's
I miss
terrible.
something? Althea, Valis?
Only thing I can think of is I don't suppose Graymoor has a particular problem with wolves that have opposable thumbs. That doesn't ring a bell to you, does it?
What? That's ridiculous.
I thought so. Yes, pretend I didn't say anything.
Well, at present, everyone should be getting ready for the festival.
The festival?
Yes, yes. Are you not religious folks? Where do you come from, anyway? It's 3 nights from now. Does not point at his watch because that's.
Do I know what he's talking about?
You can make
As a cleric and an acolyte.
You should know that in 3 nights the winter solstice is upon you, which is when. Well, in our world, obviously, the solstice is when the shortest day comes. So this is when the 2 suns are going to be least in the sky for
longest night.
Yeah, this is the longest night coming up in 3 nights from now.
And what
could
does
go
this
wrong, right?
mean for Graymoor? Is that
what does this
particular
mean
importance around here?
Yeah, well, they're having a festival, so yeah, they're going to have a big feast. In fact, I'll just play it in character. Yes, Graymoor's solstice feast shall be occurring in 3 nights at the temple. It will be controlled. It will be organized by Father. What is his name? Father Darragor. Yes, Father Darragor is in charge of the proceedings, along with his various acolytes, priestesses. Excuse me. Yes. Fetch me some ale, will you, sir? Some food. Starving. That way I can eat in character.
Nice.
Very fly.
Cunning, eh? Mm.
Yeah,
Right,
while we're at it, I have a question about our food and lodging.
Yes.
I know our lodging is covered. What about our food and drinks?
Within limits. I shouldn't want to
Okay,
be...
we need to be clear about limits because I'm a dwarf and I'm pretty sure I don't have the same limits as you.
Well, I should think that you'll be kept in good ale and wine for the next foreseeable weeks, if necessary. However, if you were to, I don't know, he discusses this with you. You come to a conclusion. Basically, you're going to be okay. He's not going to. That being said, you're not going to. If you start drinking the place out of house and home, he's not going to pay for that. There is a point at which there is a cutoff point, which, to be honest, I haven't considered in advance. But this is great beta testing because these are things that will come up next time I ever run this game. These are the sorts.
Well, if you have a dwarf, yeah.
Right. Okay.
I don't know why all dwarves are alcoholic. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like a racial trait.
Yeah, stereotyping in a big way.
Okay, we're next. What are we going to do next?
We still need to find this little girl. We've got this winter solstice to maybe keep an eye on. And was it Father Dalagar? Did I get that down right?
Father Darragor, D-A-R-A-G.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And just going back to just while we've got Oswald, I just wanted to ask specifically about the wolves. Is that something that's a common occurrence around Graymoor? Do they have like a...
Yes, from time to time, wolves come through here, like all foul beasts, wild beasts and the sort. Wolves, bears, that sort of thing. Even an owl bear once.
Oh, wow.
I love owl bears. Oh, I hope an owl bear comes through.
Do you just?
Fascinating beast. Yes.
Fascinating, perhaps, but deadly.
Well, all the best things are.
Odd.
All right. Shall we go try and find Erin Gilly. And because I'm Oswald, I'm assuming as you've been here eating and drinking that you haven't broken the news to her yet.
I assumed that you would go and do it, and you'd want to speak with her. You are the experts. I am merely a tax collector.
Yes,
Obviously.
we are the experts.
All right. Should we go do the unpleasantness?
Yes, seems like a good idea. And don't forget to investigate Sir Thomas's house, too. It's been boarded up for days.
Are they in the same area?
Not exactly. He gives you a brief outline of. He's going to show you a map. He gives you a map. He shows you on a piece of paper where these things are. They're all within about 4 miles of the town. So the blacksmith is sort of on the edge of the town, just beyond the tree line, or close to the tree line, shall we say. There's a farm area there, and there's a forge and what have you, apparently. Sir Thomas, his estate is further out, about 4 miles. Yeah.
Should we, anywhere in particular you guys want to go?
Go and speak to the little girl first, or the daughter first.
Erin's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Especially if she looks like the person that set that place on fire.
On we go. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So you head off to the.
I grab some snow and just rub the suit and off my face, beard, and general clothing as I walk by.
That's a good idea. Let's just spend 5 minutes in the tavern cleaning up before
Clean
we
up
go
on the way.
tell this poor young woman that her father's dead.
All right. All right. You tidy yourselves up. You get your shit together. Essentially, you have a quick drink of whatever and some food, probably. In fact, I'll say Sarg organizes for you guys to get given a bowl of hot broth each while you're waiting and doing things. And it's not bad. As a dwarf, by the way, Eric, you'll notice that there is a dwarf there's another dwarf in the kitchen, who's the cook. So the food is of particular interest to you because it has a certain dwarven flavor.
Nice.
So that makes you very happy. There's a certain spice that you haven't tasted since you left your dwarven homelands in the Banakaya.
I try to make eye contact with the cook, and when we do, I just thumbs up with a big grin on my face.
He wipes sweat off his brow and adjusts his headband and nods to you.
The spice is dwarf sweat.
You better hope it is.
That's what I say to Althea and Valis as they're eating, just to see how they react.
Yeah. And I think I'm quite finished now. Push the bowl away. Time to go.
I take Althea's bowl and I start eating it.
Right. Well, so you leave the tavern with all your gear and stuff, I assume. Okay.
Yeah, leave the pony and stuff behind, unless it's a fair trip, in which case we'll probably.
Yeah, how far away is it?
Up to 4 miles for the second place in particular. Sir Thomas.
Yeah, I have small legs. I'm gonna take my pony.
Yeah, we'll take the ponies.
Yeah.
All right. So are you gonna visit the closest place first? That makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna go to the forge. Okay. So then this is where the girl is supposed to be, and when you get there, one moment, please. I'll read you a description. Okay, the doors and the windows hang open and the curtains shiver in the frigid wind. Snow has begun to creep into the sills and over the threshold into the dark and empty room, or dark and empty home. As you enter, you find the floorboards in the kitchen have been pried up, and on the table next to them sits a small, artless lockbox.
Okay. I'll call out Aaron? Anyone home?
I go to the lockbox.
No tumbleweed.
There's like a door banging in the background in the wind.
Mm-hmm. Falnan, did you say you were checking out the lockbox?
Yeah.
Okay, so you approach the box. Okay, it's a metal box with a good solid lock on it that is pretty well made. It's got scratches all over the outside of it. It's black and silver, like it's like black iron and shiny strips of metal wrapped around it, basically like a cage, if you like. And then there's a lock at the top. And there's hinges, but the hinges are on the inside, you assume.
I put my hammer on on my shoulder. I can open it, but if it's got fragile stuff in it, that might not be the best idea. And with the luck we're having so far, odds are something's gonna blow up in our face when we open it.
I think Althea seems the most likely to have dexterous fingers. Maybe check it for anything dodgy first.
I give it a look over.
Okay. What exactly are you looking at? You're just looking to see how you might get in, or?
Yeah, is it just the lock that's preventing it from opening? Is there
Pretty
anything
much.
unusual at all about it? Does it rattle? I don't know.
When you pick it up, obviously, right? So it
Yes,
weighs about 4 pounds, but that seems to feel like that's mostly the box that weighs that. You're not sure what's. You can feel something if you shake it. There is something in it that's moving, but it's hard to say because it doesn't rattle.
Oh, okay. But no way into it other than through the lock.
Not that you can see.
No one's got any skills with picking these locks, have they?
Certainly not. I could help with looking for a key, but probably not breaking into it.
Yeah. Maybe we should take it with us then.
Yeah, I will. I'll have a scout around the house, see if I can just see a key hanging up on any of the rungs on the wall or anything.
Investigation.
Screen share.
Can I help to give him advantage?
You can roll your own investigation check,
Okay.
seeing as he already rolled.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can probably see it up to 13.
Yep, you got a 13. Okay, you can close that. You don't find any keys, but what I can tell you,
Oh yeah.
basically, that there's a number of different areas that you do find. You find that there's a forge at the back of this place, which apparently is melted. Like when at some point somebody left the forge going, and it actually just melted. Whatever was in there is completely screwed. There's the residence, there's a study, there's an outhouse, and there's a small stable for like 2 small horses out the back.
Nice one.
I don't find nothing.
Yep.
You may find something that you don't want to find.
If you want to, I'll let you check any of the areas inside the house for anything that you might find. So as I say, there's a forge, a residence, a study, an outhouse, and a stable.
I go check out the study.
Okay. All right. So you go into the study, and it's a small room. It seems to be mostly used for bookkeeping over the last few months. There is a large, there's a series of journals and things lying around. Do you want to make your own investigation check here?
Yeah, I'll thumb through a couple of them.
All right. A 12.
14.
14. Okay.
Nice.
You find this. There's a diagram in the book, in the journal. This diagram that actually has. It's. I guess this is the blacksmith's own handwriting, right? So it doesn't have any annotations. It's not designed for anybody else to read. It's for him personally, and it's some kind of lock. It looks like a lock, but just from the one annotation that there is, which is the scale of it, it looks like it's about 4 feet in size. It's huge.
4 feet. And what does it look like it's of?
It's a massive lock.
Lock.
Yeah, like a
Okay.
sliding lock mechanism. It's got some contraptions. There's
It's
another
like a plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
like yeah. What else is there? There's also on a couple of pages after that. You find there's some sort of mechanism with some cogs and things as well, which he looks like he must have had to forge, and yeah, they're also quite big from the looks of it.
Wow, that's scary. If that's anything to do with what's running around.
Maybe he
quite
was trying
large.
to lock something and he got killed before he
Yeah.
could complete it.
Looking around, is there anything within? Oh, actually, I imagine we'll probably head out and go to a different room and just have a look and see if there's any bits and pieces that look equivalent to what the sketches are, and see if there's any of this actually lying around.
If there's anything in the forge that might resemble his designs.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Okay, you can make an.
You guys are smart.
Scott, make an investigation check. You're on the forge.
I'm helping Scott. I help Scott do that.
Okay, you can get this. You
Because
can
I'm
get
impressed.
that actually gives
By
you
pointing
disadvantage.
over there and
Thanks,
saying, "What's that?" So what am I doing? Investigation.
Investigation with advantage.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
Oh wow! Okay,
Ooh.
you find some offcuts of both various bits of cogs. You find because there's a cast. In fact, you find a cast for this series of cogs. So there's a couple of casts, I suppose. It looks like someone's made some effort to actually break this stuff down and to hide it, you suspect. The lock mechanism itself, there's some offcuts from that. There's some pieces of tubing or some sort of it's not a tube because it's not hollow, but it's a cylinder
Cylinder.
of metal. Yeah, a cylinder. Basically some sort of slider mechanism, you suspect. It matches up on the diagram as being some part of that. This looks like it might have been the first version that failed. So yeah, you find pieces of this stuff that, yeah, you can see this was clearly part of that project. You don't know whether he finished it or whether it, or what happened, but yeah.
Looks like he started to make something, if nothing else.
Yep. Or these could just be the leftover offcuts for the finished product. Is also very possible.
But
I'll,
why?
I'll pocket those notebooks just for later, just in case we need to bring it up in conversation with anyone else.
Okay. They're quite big, so you have to drag them around.
Oh, they're
Luckily we
like.
bought the ponies.
That's true. You can put them in the saddlebags on the ponies.
Yeah.
But there is no girl. We came here to see the girl, but she's not here. There's
Nope.
no one.
But
I start walking around the place and see if I see a body or something.
okay, well, what you do find is a bedroom that looks like it was where they both slept, and it looks like one of the beds is well made, and it looks like probably the father's bed. The girl's bed looks like it's all been pulled up and it hasn't been made, like somebody just slept in it and then left it the way it is and has never bothered to make it again.
I put my hand on the bed sheet and to check if it's warm or not, like if someone was in there recently.
In fact, you find that there's a thin layer of frost covering everything because the window's open.
And there is no fire that has been started.
There's a couple of candles around the place that are out. The forge itself is out, but it's melted. So it must have gotten very hot, and then over the last week or so, it's just gone cold. Oh wait,
Is there any
no,
evidence where
I'm thinking of the other
girl
guy.
could
Sorry,
have
this
gone?
guy died this morning. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, what was the question there, Tom?
Is there any evidence of where the girl might have gone? Is there a jacket hanging up on the wall, like she's left all of her traveling clothes, or?
Well, first of all, these people are not exceptionally well off, so they don't have a lot of clothes. So they pretty much wear the same couple of clothes every day, and it's the middle of winter, so they're wearing all their warmest clothes all the time. You find there are some other clothes there, but they're kind of folded up in the corner. Yeah. So as far as clothes go, it's a bit hard to tell.
Okay.
Where else did you guys go looking?
We've done bedroom, study, and the forge.
Okay.
So,
House was next, was it?
Yep. So there's the outhouse. So you wander out to the outhouse. As you go out the back door of the residence, which is wide open and banging in the wind, by the way, Tom, you notice some footprints in the snow.
okay, I'll go over and have it towards the outhouse or elsewhere.
They actually run past the outhouse.
Kind of off into the woods.
Yeah. Can you give me an investigation check?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. Well, the first thing you realize is that the prints are fairly smallish, about the right size for a girl the age of the one that you're looking for. The second thing you notice is that they are spaced in such a way as she could well have been running.
Okay. And do they look quite deep, like they've happened recently, or are they quite shallow because there's a lot of snow is kind of covered over the top of them and it was a little while ago?
You put your finger into it and you see that there's hard snow on the sides and there's softer snow that's just more recently fallen that's in them. And if you clear out the softer snow, you can see, you're guessing these were probably made sometime in the last 24 hours, maybe even in the last 6 hours.
Okay. I'm of a mind that we follow these. I'm happy to do a bit more hunting round and looking round if you want to try and do some investigation. But it sounds like this girl's in trouble. I think following them makes a lot of sense. I know she could be a little way ahead of us, but if she's in trouble, we can potentially find her.
Yeah, I look around and try to see if I can find tracks of the girl looking in the snow.
Okay.
Althea, you're great about outdoors. You wanna give it a shot? You wanna give me a hand?
Sure. We've found the trail already. I guess we're deciding whether we're going to follow it now or
Yep.
quickly have a hunt around for anything else that might be of use. Was there any place that we didn't look?
Well, we could have a look in the outhouse on the way past, but I imagine everything we'll find is going to be shit. But
And you look inside the outhouse, and that's exactly what you find.
Excellent.
All right, good. Right, we've ticked that one off.
Let's set off after these tracks for a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
I will. I'm going to tug my hood and get Lily to jump out, and I'm just going to ask her to scout on up ahead and just give us a heads up if there's something just around the corner.
Okay. She goes. All right. So you've done this before, and she generally will just come back to you if she finds anything of any interest or importance. And so you guys are on horseback at this point, or on foot?
Is it heading off into the woods?
Yeah. Yep. They have.
On
the tracks, are they easy to follow?
Well, they're easy to follow as far as they are to the woods.
Yes, to the woods on the horseback, and then I guess we go on foot.
Yeah. Let's take the horses with us for the moment, and then if we find a patch that we struggle, we can always tie them up.
Okay. Well, after about 40 minutes of trailing these footprints, you need to make investigation checks. I'm going to let the ranger do this. This can be Scott.
Yeah. I'm helping. I've got wait, yeah, I'm not trained in investigation, so I don't know if that helps. I'll get
That
in
with
the
an
way.
advantage.
Oh, actually, make it a survival check. I'm sorry. It should be a survival check for tracking.
Oh, then I can definitely help him. I'm trained in it.
All right, then you can have
Okay.
advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay. The tracks get a
It's
bit.
still 11.
The tracks get a bit funny after a while. They start to. It's hard to see what happened here. They get. It's like she encountered something here, that and then maybe you don't know. There's like tracks coming in and tracks leaving. But there's a separate set of tracks that head off from here, but you can't really see a set of tracks that come in, except for the girls. Well, assuming it's a girl.
Yeah.
Follow the new set of tracks if they're the only ones we can see.
Right.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to make a check with these tracks? In fact, I'll say, Eric, you should make a check.
Yeah, I'm gonna try as well. Survival.
Yep. 14. All right. Well, it seems obvious to you that something very funny is going on, because you've been following these human tracks out here, and then next thing you know, the human tracks have just stopped as they climbed over this large route or something, and they disappear around about to the point where there's this we'll say it's a fallen log. Actually, it makes it more direct. And then on the other side of the fallen log, there's wolf tracks going off into the forest.
A
Told you,
little bit
man.
of metagaming here. Would my character have any knowledge of something like that?
Something like that being, what
Well, human stats. I mean, like druids, for example. A druid would be able to do that.
right? Yeah, that's
Would
true.
my character know of anything similar of
You're a
people using
cleric.
magic or, yeah,
You could make
like maybe a curse or something?
Anyone got an arcana? Do you want to make an arcane check?
Yeah. Arcana's
I'm not
my
trained in
domain.
Arcana, but I'm trained in history.
All right. I think, but you got a religion. You can make a religion check. That would be the
Yeah.
thing to do, Eric.
Okay. So I'm going to make the religion check now.
Yep.
Religion.
You've never heard of anything like that in any religion that you know of.
And
Besides just druids shapeshifting, would I know that though? Druid shapeshifting, or not?
Yeah, you might have. Yeah, you've probably heard of that. I'd say
Okay.
you probably all heard of that.
So that would be my theory. The girls or whoever this is trained shapeshifter, trained druid, or has a gift for that.
Yeah, is there any way to gauge whether it could be like lycanthropic? See, is there like so werewolves? Is there like scratches on any of the trees nearby?
You don't see any scratches or anything like that.
No? So, which to me says it's voluntary.
Could be.
Would it be so? Who is making the Arcana check?
Sorry, I can jump in and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly, if it's anything to do with the Feywilds, then it's something I'd probably.
Oh, nice.
19.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Good day.
Well, I'll tell you what is when Lillian, that's her name, right?
Yes.
When Lillian returns, you can close the window, by the way. She sniffs around here for a while, and she whispers in your ears that she saw something in the distance running off into the woods.
Oh, lead the way. Althea Farnan, Lily's found something. I think
Cool.
we should let her lead. So I'll
Right.
send her
Agreed.
zooming off and show us the way. Out of interest, is it the same direction as the footprints?
Lillian says it's too fast. You can't follow it.
Okay. Is it running away from us, or is it running around us, stalking us?
At this point, it's hard. She says, "I'll have to check." So
Okay, I'm
goes on.
going to ask her to do a do
Right.
like
Crazy
a
Ivan.
60, 90-foot loop around us, and just
All
be
right.
a little bit of a radar.
When she says,
Crazy Ivan.
when she comes back, she says she hasn't seen it again.
Okay. Now we'll keep an eye open.
Okay.
Happy to follow the wolf footprints, but keep an eye open around us.
Incidentally,
I'm not too sure if we should.
it's
Sorry.
been snowing the whole time too, so the tracks are getting harder to see.
Okay.
Odds are we going to get lost in the forest if we keep going, or it's going to make it harder. Althea, how confident are you about us trying to follow this? 'Cause I'm not confident at all, personally. I've got some training in the outdoors, but I'm not confident. How about you?
The forest is not my preferred space, so I don't know. I get the feeling that we might lose the tracks pretty quickly, so we maybe should head back.
Yeah.
Plus, it seems that whoever or whatever is doing this keeps coming back to the village anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to ask someone if Oswald's, George's daughter looks like the person that you saw, Valis.
Okay. Yeah. Well, see if Ariane matches the description of the girl that was poking her head through the barn door.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be worth chatting to some villagers and see if the girl's had any problems or has been well recently.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Valis, as you're beginning to sort of turn around to go back this direction, Lillian comes back to you and she goes, "You must move quickly. There's a bear."
There's a bear. Did it have an owl's face?
She looks confused. No, I don't think so.
I'll alert the guys and get them to prep and ready up. We could be in some trouble.
Okay,
I'll dart behind the tree.
I mount my pony because without the pony, I'm stuck with my 25 feet per round.
Okay, so you guys get on your ponies, yeah?
Well, I don't know about them, but I am.
You guys can hear the bear coming through the woods a little way up from where you are. It's not within range yet. Well, it's not within melee range anyway, but and it hasn't seen you, or as far as you can tell, it's just there, not far.
Yeah. Okay, we'll slowly try to move away.
All right. Let's see what happens.
I'm going to use thaumaturgy, and I'm going to create an instantaneous sound originating from 30 feet diagonally from us, so away from us.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it because apparently I can do it, maintain up to 3 of its 1 minute's effect time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have 3, and I'm going to have them going into a direction that is, say, 45 degrees away from us, as if something loud was moving away from us. And it's a rumble of thunder. Sorry, no, not a rumble of thunder. Ominous whispers, cry of a raven. Cry of a raven going into the... So it's an insidious sound, and it seems to be going away from where we are.
Okay.
We're moving away.
Sounds good. All right. That's let's see. I'll make you roll a sleight of hand check. No, charisma. I don't know. What's a good check for this to see whether you can distract it with this
Deception?
deception? Yeah, that's Performance. I think deception.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not trained in any of them, but it's my charisma, so
Right.
it doesn't make a difference at this point for me.
Right. All right. So just go for a charisma check.
Okay. So simple charisma.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh.
Worth a try. Worth a try.
Well, the good news is that I just rolled a 3-2, and I was using a contested roll, so
Oh, okay.
it doesn't sort of. The bear seems a bit confused, really. That's what happens, and so you guys managed to pull out of there and start getting out of there. All right.
Yeah.
The sounds, was that bear sound or owl bear? Because when Valis was asking that, it made me actually wonder that.
It was a bear. It was a standard bear.
I said to Valis, I think it
Poor
was an
level
owl
1
bear.
soul probably couldn't take on an owl bear right now.
I said to Valis, I think it was an owl bear.
Oh, I love owl bears. Oh, I hope you're right.
Okay. So you guys are heading back to town, or where are you going at this point?
Are we going to go on? I think we were going to go on to Sir Thomas's and check that out.
Sir Thomas's house.
Heading back to town.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you ride over to Sir Thomas's house. Sir Thomas's house.
It's strange how a fire set on us is making us take that investigation so much more seriously.
Right. It's personal now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
For me, anyway.
As you approach Sir Thomas's house, the first thing you notice from the distance is that there is a big barn outside, and there's the house itself is this 2-story house. It's very nicely kept. It has a garden and what have you, and it has ornaments out the front of it made of stone, of various woodland animals and things. As you get closer, you see that the front door is smashed in. What else can I tell you? Oh, I have a description. What did you do with the box, by the way? Did you just left it where it was?
No, I think we took it with us, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were looking for a key.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Althea, you took the box.
Yeah.
All right. So it's obviously they had some sort of penchant for gardening. I'm sorry, the door is not kicked in at all. I lied. I take it back. The door's just locked. I'm sorry.
Trying to trick us.
Suddenly becomes a lot less sinister.
I was confused.
It's a mimic. It's a mimic.
Right. I was confused between this and the a different scenario.
No problem.
Yes, one that does not exist. Go on.
Right, should we go and check it out?
Go and knock on the door if see anybody's home.
Is there any smoke from a chimney or something?
Nope.
Fireplace? No? Okay, so
Nope.
probably no one's in. Otherwise, there's no way they wouldn't have a fire running. Not in this cold anyway. I don't think so.
Right.
Good point.
Right.
So try to open the door.
Okay. How are you going to go about that? It's locked.
If there's a handle, I try to see if the handle is.
All right. It's locked.
If I can't open the door, it's
it
locked.
isn't- Yeah, it's locked.
Just in case, I knock hard on the door.
Okay. Silence.
What are we called already? Are we called wardens or something?
Yep, you're justice wardens.
Justice wardens. Boom, boom, boom.
Or
Open the
wardens
door.
of the justice, if you like. Yep, no reply. A couple of minutes pass if you so desire to wait.
Oh no, I wouldn't wait a few minutes. I just kick the door in.
I was going to suggest we go around the back and see if there's another entrance.
Just as my foot hits the door, I turn sideways like, huh? But I still try to kick the door in.
Murderer.
Okay,
Yeah, that's my
well,
job. Isn't that why you guys?
I'm surprised you're not using your hammer on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if I can't open it with the foot, hammer is next. That's my key.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, the door is actually pretty solid because Sir Thomas was no fool, and it was definitely reinforced and what have you. So, Do you want to start smashing it down with a hammer, or are you going to check the rest of the house first? Or
Yeah, I think we
Let's
should
check the rest of the house
go
first.
around and
I
have a
mean,
look, see if there's any other way in.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Let's do a lap.
and I try
Alright.
not to limp as as I walk away from the door.
There is another door on the other side of the house for sure. It leads into the kitchen, from what you can tell, through the small window that you can climb up on some ornaments to see through. A small
Hey, that's
person,
racist, man.
I
a dwarf.
give you a leg up.
You could potentially toss a dwarf through that window.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
a plan.
I'm keen for that. I'm keen for that.
But you'd have to break the glass. The door, the
Yeah, that's
back
why I've
door
got a
is
helmet.
also, right.
Yeah.
The back
The
door is
shield.
also seems to be reinforced as well.
Mm.
Not to say you couldn't
Looking up,
smash
is
it
there
down.
any window that's open? Like, is it a one-story house, two
Two
stories?
stories. 2 stories.
So is there any windows open above?
Well, funnily enough, there is. There is a window open up on the second floor around the third side of the house in the west.
Mhm.
And you can see the curtains in there kind of shivering in the breeze.
Okay.
Any of you
ideas
good
on
at
how to get up
climbing?
there?
I'm not super great at heights.
I imagine our ranger is probably the best bet at
Yeah, I'll have
nimbly
a go
getting
at
All
climbing up and getting in. Any chance?
All right, you can make a how would we do a climbing check? It's
Ah, damn
going to
it.
be
I
dexterity.
wish I had changed mending.
You need a
Yeah.
dexterity.
Guidance would be so much better.
But now you can fix all the doors you break.
Yeah.
Why? I break them for a reason. Why would I fix them afterwards?
Right.
But
So
yeah, no, that's a good idea.
right. So a dexterity check for that. It's going to be a
Right.
straight dex check. Boom, ba-da-dum.
Ooh, whoa.
Oh,
That's not bad.
nice. Yeah.
Nice.
You watch
Yeah.
your ranger climb up the side of the house and slip in through the window with ease. With ease.
I
Okay.
clap, impressed.
So now you're inside of a small bedroom, and you look around and you can see there's a lot of trunks and things, and there's stuff laid out and folded, and there's things look very like things are being organized or something. It's hard to say, but
Someone's packing.
right, looks a lot like someone packing.
Oh. I think
Is there
I'll
a lot of
scurry.
frost on it?
Yes, there is frost. Yeah, because the window's been
I
open.
think I'll head downstairs and let my colleagues in.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm not there. Oops,
All
sorry.
right. All right, you get downstairs and you open the door, yep, and you let them in.
Yeah, in the back door, and then we'll start searching through the house.
Yeah.
All right then.
Do we see any blood spatters anywhere where he may have been killed? Because he was killed in his house, wasn't he?
He was killed upstairs, I think, in the room next to the one that had the window open.
Okay.
Go check it out.
If the doors are locked, did they lock the doors after taking his body?
Yeah, you would assume so. It must have been locked from the outside, and they must
So
have.
someone probably came through the window. I don't think they would have left the window open. Why wouldn't they close the door, the window?
Or someone got out that was locked in the house.
The house is dusty and in disarray. It hasn't been, turned upside down like the blacksmith's house was. There is a drafting table with a letter on it.
Oh,
There's a few other bits and pieces lying around. There's cups and plates and food that's actually gone solid because of the cold.
how many cups on the table?
2 cups.
If there's 2 cups, that means he was probably talking with someone.
Could be. Or he's just lazy. You know.
Go and have a look at the letter. See if there's any
It's rifler's correspondence.
All right. Give me a moment. I'm gonna share you a thing. Okay, I'm going to share my screen for a second and give you enough time to read this.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Does the name Ulrich rings any bell to me?
No.
Okay. Swords of the Lady. Yep. That, yes.
Swords of the Lady. It might be some kind of religious reference to a.
Because I remember there was someone from one of the videos you shared that works for was it the Swords of the Ladies?
No,
that is their.
That's the Daughters of Twilight.
Ah, okay, Daughters of. I knew it had something to do with women.
Yep. No, different group.
But no.
Different
Okay.
kettle of fish.
Okay.
Unrelated.
And
But
obviously the letter's unfinished. Does it kind of like trail off like he was?
There's some
startled?
splotches of ink at the bottom of it.
Okay. Well, obviously we need to be having a look around.
The letter is on top of a bunch of parchment too. So there's quills and what have you. You notice there's wax that's dripped over the place. There's a stamp for a seal. All the things that you would need for sending letters.
Yeah.
You find some other correspondence too lying around, mostly between just friends and family. Things like you find a record of his old, because he was the sheriff of the town, so he would have kept all sorts of records regarding that. But you don't see anything particularly relevant. Certainly, there's no descriptions of anybody being graphically killed with gory weapons or claws. Anybody who's looking at the actual letter on the thing on the table,
yeah.
I mean, do you pick up the letter or what? Do you actually pick it up or you just read it from the table?
I would have picked it up to read it.
Okay, do you hand it around?
I'd probably pick it up and read it out aloud to everyone.
Okay, so the two people who are listening can make a wisdom perception check. So we'll go with Scott first.
You're still sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry. Good point.
So what was it? Perception.
Yep.
You can actually, when you have more than one screen being shared, you can go to view options and change which one you're watching.
Oh, cool.
Ah, okay, that's good.
Oh, I think that was pretty good.
Nice.
Okay, so before I break anything out for you, let's see what the other role is for. Is it Eric is going next?
Yeah.
Okay. Skills. What was it you said?
Wisdom perception. Yeah.
Wisdom perception. Oh, natural one. I am enthralled by the story of the letter.
Right.
Ulrich, is that a door?
Right. In fact,
that sounds like a dwarven name.
Right. Swords of the Lady seems to have gotten into your head. The idea that that's super uber important, and must in fact be the somehow that's must be the core of all of this. Maybe you did hear of the Swords of the Lady. You're beginning to remember that there's some sort of druidic circle that that sort of don't live in any one place. They're sort of they're a network of druids across the
And it's a
land.
little girl. Maybe she's linked to them as well.
Mm,
Right.
yeah, one of them.
Could be something like
Mhm.
that. Yeah. So that's what you're learning from your natural one.
Yeah.
Scott, what you notice is that while he's holding the letter and reading it out loud, there's the imprint of some writing on the next piece of parchment. That there's some indentations.
Okay. Can I make it out or do anything to try and read it at all?
Yeah, do a rubbing.
Yeah.
You could do a rubbing. Yep. You could get some ash from the fireplace or some charcoal
Yeah.
from the fireplace.
What are you doing? I clearly busted the case wide open right here.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so share screen again.
Mhm.
What are you looking at, by the way? Is it the right
Yeah,
thing?
that second letter has come up.
Yep, cool.
Hmm.
Tell me when you're done with it.
The full moon? Do full moons still happen?
That is sadly a relic of the fact that this is a module, and last time I ran this module, it was not actually in.
Okay.
Um,
So the
so
equivalent of the
the
broken.
equivalent of the full moon. So this is when the largest chunk of Sidarhael's moon temple is at its apex. So we'll call it the apex thing. Sorry about that. I'll have to. This is good beta testing. Yeah.
No, it's all good. All good.
Do we know, has the full moon just happened, or is this
The full moon is
linking
going to
up
happen
with
in. It's going to happen in 3
solstice?
nights. Yeah, with the solstice.
Okay,
The solstice time. Okay.
Yeah. Are you done with the letter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they probably will have to read it to me afterwards.
Yeah. I should make a note of her name. Was it Cillian?
Cillian, yeah, with a C. Cillian.
Yeah, but again, see, with the swords, again, swords. Telling you there's something there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think obviously we want to go check out where this thing is. But, oh no, they're delivering.
It's not going
it
to be there yet.
Okay, so well, it sounds like we've got a lot of time to get through. If everything is 3 days away, maybe we should go back to the town and call it a day. Unless you want to do some more hunting through the house.
Yeah, let's go through the house. I would like to look at the room where he was found in case there's any kind of clue that was left by whoever killed it. And also the room where whoever did it may have come through, in or out. The one with that had the window open that you could get in through, Althea.
Okay. So you go looking around and you find the room where he was murdered. It's the important note is that somebody who's come in here, they've cleaned the house up, they've taken his body, and they didn't leave it in a state of blood pools and stuff. They tried to respectfully restore it to some semblance of social adequacy, if that makes sense. So they weren't just going to leave it where it was. Unfortunately, they didn't know what crime scenes were in feudal, medieval.
It makes sense, but
lands.
Darn it.
Yeah, that's a bit suck.
So with a quick look around the house, there's nothing else that might pique our interest or make us pause for further thought?
I mean, you would find, no doubt, there's interesting aspects of Sir Thomas's personality. You know, like for example, he did some whittling and he made some carvings and things. Um, but there's nothing especially interesting other than that. And there's a small bookshelf with a few simple books. He's got some religious elements too. I mean, he's definitely a worshipper. And the thing about this town, and it's very common among all the towns in the Sidarhael, is that they don't have churches so much as temples. And like where a church is concerned, you have a clergy who runs the church, and they basically deliver to you the word of the gods or what have you. Whereas in a temple, the town folk come together and they take turns participating in the rituals. Rather than, they're not just watching the rituals, they participate, and every season they take a different role, and they have to learn these roles almost like plays. This is very common in this world. So you notice that he's got some leftover costumes and other items of equipment that he would have used for some of these rituals and things over time. So yeah. It's a fairly complicated religion.
Yeah.
All right, back to town then. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that, certainly.
might be worth having a chat with somebody at the temple, see if he's passed on any of his concerns.
I think we should be careful because we don't know. He didn't want to talk about it to anyone, and we don't know who's in on that.
No.
So I think we need to be very careful not to mention the swords of the lady or that someone is bringing a sword here.
But
Because
yeah,
otherwise, we don't know if someone's going to try to intercept whoever the courier might be.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more information we need on that. We know where to find her in 3 days' time. We know they've got a weapon.
But we don't know. I don't think whoever's bringing the weapon is the person who did that. I think whoever's bringing the weapon probably doesn't know anything except they were told to bring the weapon there.
Yeah.
Both Ulrich would know, but unfortunately we don't know who Ulrich is because the letter was never sent. And Cillian, we don't know where that person is, but we know that there's something about some legends, old stories, with a special weapon that could kill something, and talking about a curse and full moon. Does that trigger anyone's memory, brain thing? Because earlier, I think, Velis, you did like a super high roll on your Arcana check.
Mm-hmm. That was in regards to what we now assume is the druidic little girl changing into the wolf. So I think we can safely assume that she's connected to the druidic circle. Possibly the bear could have been one of them as well. The bear wasn't necessarily just a bear.
Possibly. The wounds, would they be more bear or would they be more wolf?
Yeah, that's true. Was the wounds on the horses and the cattle and stuff? Was that...
There were bites, and I don't think a bear would.
Sorry, the cattle and the horses. The most noticeable thing, it would be the difference between them would be that the cattle and horses had bites and claw marks and a lot more kind of ripping and tearing involved. And the claw marks just seemed a lot bigger on the humans.
It's probably something else.
Yeah, your best conclusion, really, now that you've really spent some time thinking about this and that you've had all day to
not the same,
sort of put this
not the
together,
same thing.
these are not the same attacks. They're not the same. It's not the same perpetrator.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could be working in concert, but you know.
Okay. Back to the tavern.
Yeah.
So as you're walking towards the tavern, you see a little girl.
Being a bit paranoid. Sorry, I look around. Sorry.
As you're approaching the tavern, you see the little girl standing outside the tavern, and she's playing hopscotch in the snow with a silver piece, by the looks of it. And also,
like flicking a silver piece and jumping.
Yeah.
Okay.
basically. Yeah.
Oh, well,
One silver piece for a little girl is a lot of money, by the way, too. I might
Yeah.
add.
Especially to play with her,
Right.
to use as a toy.
Balnan, I think you should go and join her and play hopscotch. See if you
What the
can.
hell does that mean? But that's a good idea. I'm gonna go.
All right. So you approach her, and she looks up, and she kind of hides her face a little bit, and turns around and puts her coin.
Can I play with you?
Huh? What?
Can I play with you? I'm really good at hopscotch. I was like master hopscotcher way back home.
She's sort of
It's a
stands
real
there
word.
shyly. She takes out the coin and she passes it to you.
Okay, I take the coin, quickly look at it, and then I start playing with her.
All right, give me a D20, just to see how bad you are.
See how skilled you are at hopscotch.
Hey, what do you mean how bad I am?
This is a dex check.
Dex check, yeah, +0.
This should be good.
A 9. All right, and she's gonna get. I just rolled on the floor. Oh well,
That doesn't count unless it's lower than me.
you beat the crap out of her. Actually, she falls over and lands on her ass in the snow. Oh, and she stopped crying.
What the hell? I help her get back up.
You dust her off and dust the snow off her, and she's standing there and she's looking at you, and she said, "Somebody tried to kill you."
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I just won, by the way.
I didn't see who it was, but I saw a wolf go into the forest.
Yeah, we tried to follow the wolf. Are you? What's? Oh shit. Yeah, I've got 11 intelligence. What's your name?
Abigail.
Abigail.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy?
My daddy's
I know it's
gone.
not me. Oh, what's? Oh shit! It's too dark. I need to turn on the lights in my place. Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
I can't read my own notes anymore. Okay, good. Was your dad Sir Thomas?
No.
Was
No.
George? George was your father?
No. My father died many years ago.
Oh.
When I was born.
Oh, when you were born. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is your mommy around?
My mummy's dead too.
There's no one to look after you?
I stay with some people, another family.
Inside check, is the little girl trying to bullshit me?
Yeah, is she secretly
to tell me a sub story?
Like The Grudge or The Ring?
No, I mean my character is an orphan, so he's like, if she's not bullshitting me, I'm gonna try to help her.
Okay, well, you make an insight check. Yep, go for your life. Roll your insight.
Okay.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
Very nice. You don't think she's bullshitting you? You don't have that impression. She's just really shy and a little bit bitter. I mean, she's wearing pretty raggedy clothes, but they're not sacks, you know.
I take out my symbol.
Okay.
And using mending, I try to basically mend her clothes if she has tears, stuff like that.
Oh wow!
In it to make them better.
You see her eyes just light up. It's like, oh wow! Oh, how did you do that?
I use thaumaturgy to make my eyes look more like golden type with thaumaturgy. That's soft, not too bright, more soft, gentle type glow.
Are you an angel? Are you a celestial?
No.
Is you sent by Moradin to save us?
Moradin, that's a dwarven god, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm
are,
bullshitting my way through, but yes.
you Moradin?
I wish, but no. Sense.
Well, she's suitably impressed. Suitably impressed, yes. All right.
If you hear anything about the wolves,
I
please tell
saw a
me.
wolf. I saw a wolf. Um, it was about a few nights ago, and there was a wolf
Oh,
in the street, and I saw him, and it was really big. Nobody believed me, and he was so big, and I was so scared, and I had to hide.
I believe you. I pat her on the head. I don't have to kneel next to her, actually.
No,
I'm just standing
that's
next to
true.
her.
He stood up. The wolf stood up and looked at me, and I ran
Oh,
away.
that was a very smart thing to do.
Make a
If a wolf
perception
was
check.
standing up in front of me, huh?
Make a perception check.
Okay. My perception is, Ooh, at least that wasn't a 1.
Okay. 9. Okay. Well, something smells. You get a
Did she just pee herself because she was scared?
yep, and it's pooling
Ah, crap.
by your feet.
Valis,
Yeah, yes.
uh,
I'll walk over.
do you have any magic, and I make my eyes glow, that would allow you to clean things?
Yes, yes,
Out
I
of
do.
character,
I am.
prestidigitation.
I'll I'll get out some of my traveling clothes and offer it to the girl and be like, "That's okay. You can get changed into this. That's all
She
the magic I have. Just a kind
Because
gesture."
prestidigitation would allow you to clean
you
if
want to
you
make a
have it.
charisma check, Valis, so that she doesn't just run
Yeah.
away, because at this point she's totally humiliated and terrified. Just the trauma of remembering what she saw is scared the shit out of her. Oh,
7.
yeah, she just
Not great.
bolts. She bolts. You
Isn't that
hold
good?
it out to her, and she just bolts off towards a house in the out the back.
Out the back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
never mind.
wait. We could be pretty confident that it's. I mean, that sounds werewolves. Yeah, large
Yeah.
wolves that were standing up by Peel.
Yeah.
And that's probably true, the way she said it. That's not making it up. Too traumatizing.
Yeah, that sounds legitimate. Okay, well, that gives us at least a go on what the big bad is.
Mm.
And I mean, common law around werewolves, I'm imagining our characters would probably know that silvered weapons are somewhat effective against werewolves, so that could have something to do with the weapon that's being delivered.
Well, I would say werewolves are not especially common in the world, but yeah, there are definitely stories. And since the moon is a bit weird in this world, and I've had to modify the module somewhat because of that simple fact. I guess we should just keep with it as keep it simple. Yeah, we'll just keep it simple. All right, you know something about that. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Mm.
What time of day is it at the moment? Is it kind of
It
getting
must
towards?
be it must be getting towards getting dark at this point. It's yeah, the shadows are growing long.
All right. What do you guys say to setting up in the tavern for the night?
Yeah, that's a good idea. However, so Althea, have you decided if your character was a he or a she?
We'll say it's a woman.
A woman. Okay. You may want to have your own room then, separated, because I'm like at
A
night.
stinky dwarf.
I'm like a sexy beast. That's gonna be a bit scary for you.
Okay. So you'll project my honor, and I'll go in the separate room. Okay.
If that's okay with you, Valis. I mean, you might be at risk as well to see all this and be like, oh!
I live for danger.
Okay, all right.
Sounds phenomenal.
All right.
Your companion though, Valis, says, "I might go and sleep in the other room."
Lily, you can sleep wherever you want. That's fine. you,
No, that's actually a
look
good
after
idea.
Alethea.
But if something happens, at least she can tell us if there's something happening in Althea's room.
It's true.
Yeah.
Should we keep
Okay.
the door open though? Is there a communicating door between the two rooms?
No.
Oh,
Sorry, between the two areas.
I'm going to
Because
say
if there is,
there actually is. There actually is
okay.
a door between the two
So
rooms.
we should keep the door open so we can hear whatever's happening in case we get. I mean, someone already tried to burn us down,
Yep, I'm happy with
and
that.
someone sneaked into the sheriff's room through the window.
Mm-hmm.
So should we take turns? I mean, when I sleep, I sleep. But
I'm happy taking a watch tonight. Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 elves with us. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I can take
Althea is the
a
same as
watch.
me,
I'm
and I
okay
think
to
it's
take
only
a
needs
2 hours
4
long.
hours a night. So we can take watch.
Yeah,
I mean, I can take a 2 hours watch, and then the two of you split the rest. Does that work
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah. Should we be warning the villagers that we're a little worried that there's something out there that they should probably stay home tonight?
No, but I don't think so. That would be warning the whoever is doing that we're onto them. Because we still don't know who it is, and we don't know if they have like accomplices or something.
No, but do we want more innocents to die?
As you're
That's
you're
actually a good
standing,
point.
you're standing in your room at this point, having this conversation. Are you in
Um,
your private quarters?
Yeah, I'm assuming. Or are
Yes.
we on now? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Or are you on the street?
No, because we wouldn't have known about our rooms until
No,
now.
we're checking out the room, so we're inside.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you look out the window, and as you anyone, I don't care who it is, one of you guys is looking out the window while you're having the conversation, and you notice that there's one of the houses across the street. There's a lady hanging a chunk of meat up outside the window, outside of her house, the front door, and she bends over and puts something underneath the doormat as well.
Okay, like almost like ritualistic.
Yeah, seems like it.
Maybe it's have a wander out into the street and see if there's other people doing something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you get out there, you notice that there's people around the up and down the street have started doing this. They're hanging meat outside their houses, and they're sliding something underneath their doormats.
What is it they're sliding underneath their doormats? Can we see
Can't
what
really
it is?
tell, and you have to get quite close, or you'd have to look under to have a look.
Yeah, I go in their faces and I go and ask, "What the hell are you doing?"
What? Who? Oh, you must be the justice warden.
Yes.
This is just an old tradition of ours. We like to hang. We put meat outside our houses during the solstice. It's part of an old tradition, and we slide a silver coin under our doormats. It's for good luck.
Hmm. Hmm. And you do
So,
that. When do you start doing that for the solstice?
2 nights
Because
before.
the solstice is in 3 days.
Yes, well, say 3 nights before.
Yeah. Oh, of course, 3 nights before. Mm-hmm. Inside check.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a paranoid little dwarf.
You certainly are. You certainly are.
My only soft spot is for beer and orphans.
Beer and
And doors.
and doors.
No, I don't have
he
a soft
hates
spot for
doors.
doors.
Don't get
Yep.
him started on doors.
Not too bad.
Yeah, she's definitely telling the truth, as far as you can tell.
Okay. Okay. The truth as she knows it.
Yep.
Okay.
Is this I'll ask it. Is this something you recommend a tradition you recommend we follow tonight?
You don't do this already?
Not where
No.
we come from.
Oh, well, yes, I'm sure if you're staying at Sarge's Inn, the Graymoor Bend, I'm sure there will be provision taken there anyway. I'm sure Sarge will do the same.
Okay.
So
probably
what's the story behind you hanging perfectly good meat and a silver coin under your mat? There has to be a story behind it.
Well, it relates to old stories of gnolls and things. I'm not really too sure of the long history of it, but I understand it's what we've done for years. Um, in fact, I believe it was given to us a long time ago. Now, just hold on a second, and I have to just
Mhm.
find a little piece of lore for you. Um, She says, "Well, have you ever heard of the story of Sharaba Lenfoot Dukai? Do you know
Have I?
Sharaba Lenfoot Dukai? No, you don't.
No, never
She's,
did.
well, it's an old story about a. You know she points to the fountain in the center of the town, and there's this statue of this halfling paladin in plate armor, right?
Sorry.
That's him there. Oh, that's her there, rather. It's a she. Um, so the story of the halfling paladin, Sharaba Lenford Dukai, comes from ancient times when she came across a large black stone in the frigid waste, and it spoke a name to her. Apparently, I can't remember the name, but I'm sure Father Daragar would be able to tell you. And when she returned again with her companions, the stone was gone, never to be seen again. And as far as I know, that's really all I can remember, except that she apparently died of some sort of curse high in the mountains of the Banakaya, far away from everyone, and nobody ever found her remains. So yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, and I'm pretty sure that it was on her advice that we began this tradition. Um, you see, because you see, Graymoor, which used to be called Eastbrook, back on some of the older maps that were drawn by the elves, they called it they called the place to Eastbrook, but we changed the name a few centuries ago. Our people, um, and it was a trade post for hunters and trappers of the wastes of the northern marches, known as the Frostmoors, as I'm sure you know. And they used to trade, and we still do trade, bear skins and wolf skins. Occasionally, more exotic pelts have provided a fairly reliable source of trade since the first men settled here. That was about 200 years ago when the first hunting trails were carved through the Frostmoor Pass, as he points over to the mountains where you came through earlier. The actual river is the Eastbrook River is about a mile to the west, and it's frozen. There used to be a she's just talking about everything that she can think of, and she tells you about this that back in the Highbrook, in not the Highbrook Pass, the what did I just call it, the Frostmoor Pass. There's a silver mine up there. You know, you should. It's been closed for centuries now, since the dwarves were driven out. And that's a story of itself as well. I mean, everybody around here knows
I'm
that.
not driven out. We left of our own accord. Please, story straight.
Well, there is a very tragic story of the dwarf named Dunbar Trass, who was apparently confronted a great evil in those mines, where he and his family were never seen again. Nowadays,
After winning against the great evil, obviously.
Well, yes, I'm not sure. So, my lord, but nowadays you'll find that there are roadside shrines left in disrepair, and children's stories tell of the disasters that befell those miners. But there's a lot of confusion surrounding that, and lots of stories tell a story differently. A lot of alternating endings to it. What else can I tell you? So basically, out of game, I'm just mishmashing a bunch of lore together on the fly that she's just spilling out, and she's very talkative. So now we have this local tradition in the Frostmoors, where we leave a piece of silver under the doormat and an offering of raw meat on the stoop during the midwinter solstice festival. And the current residences of the town, I mean, we all follow this religion. So this is what we do.
And we can assume that the meat and possibly silver coin will be gone in the morning?
Oh, it will be kept there for 3 days.
Okay, and the meat never goes missing?
Well, I'm sure sometimes it goes missing when some strange wild animal comes through, or some cheeky prankster decides to play a joke.
And you never thought that hanging meat in front of your front yard, in front of your door, would not attract wild animals to your doors?
Well, that is a concern. That is a concern. But we can only hope that it doesn't. It hasn't done so yet.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's
I
brought
mean,
us only good luck.
you may want to say that to George and Sir Thomas
Oh
and
dear.
Quentin.
Oh
I'll be right
dear.
back, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. I might have a break if that's all right with you guys. Would you be amenable to that?
Yeah,
For
sure.
a
I mean,
couple
I'm
of-
okay with it.
Like 5 minutes or
You
something?
have my permission.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Yep. Is Southern French?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But my English, I mean, I've never spoken Spanish, but my English is kind of, a pronunciation is, apparently it's called International English
Oh, interesting.
pronunciation. It's a mix of many different countries' pronunciation,
But-
making
yeah.
it easier to understand for non-natives, apparently.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I think your
Russell's
English is
back.
perfect. So yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So where do we leave off? So you were talking to the lady on the street about their strange traditions and background stories.
And giving her a bit of a guilt trip when after she said that no, there was no problem with wild animals, and I mentioned the 3 dead.
Right.
And all the horses and cattle.
Yes.
Right. She does look a bit dour at that point.
But I'm sure that was unrelated.
Her personality turns somewhat inward at that point. Yeah. And she says, well, I must go and keep the family fed.
Obviously.
Much to do.
Thank you. And I toss her 1 gold coin.
Oh no! Could not possibly accept this. This is far too generous, and we do not deserve such things. Please take it back.
All right. I
cannot
give
accept.
her 1 silver then.
Oh no! We don't need money. We're not poor.
No, but as a justice warden, I have to thank you for your how you are helping us.
Oh, it is our pleasure and our responsibility to do our best for this for the empire and the state.
Just
So
bless your
is
house
she
and move
taking the
on.
silver?
They
Yeah,
don't-
I
they
bless
don't
her
need
then.
to coin.
As a cleric, I bless her then.
She says that I can accept. Thank you.
Well, she can't really take it away once I bless her.
It's true. Do you use a cantrip bless, or do you just
No, I mean, bless isn't a cantrip. I have blessed the 1st level spell, but
it's
I've
a
got only
spell.
2 slots.
It's a
So
spell, right? So you're not going to actually spend a slot on it.
no, I mean I can't. There is a spell called
Guidance or
I can't
something?
remember. No, there was something as a level 1 spell that normally you can use for that. That's called ceremony.
Oh, okay.
That usually, but I think it's a ritual, so I could use that, but it takes 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Right. You're not going
And I
to.
can use bless water, coming of age, dedication, wedding, funeral rite,
Right.
atonement.
Yeah, cool.
Right.
So for that,
Sounds a bit much.
yeah, it does seem much, but I mean, I'm doing as an acolyte,
Right.
which is my my background. I'm familiar with the various rites
Right.
that people would do in a temple, and so I do properly the bless you, my child, kind of stuff,
Right.
with a little bit of extra thaumaturgy behind to give it a bit more oomph.
Okay. She's suitably impressed. Suitably impressed. And she
Hopefully, she
thanks
won't
you.
feel too bad about what she's doing.
Oh, thank you, my liege. Thank you very much. And she says, I must go now and feed the children. And she
Please go.
closes the door, and you hear her wander off. Okay. So you're back
I
out.
turn around towards the other two, and I look very proud of myself with a smug smile on my face.
Well done, well done.
Thank you. So what do you guys want to do now? Head back to the tavern, or ask around in case someone knows more about
I
that?
think by the sounds of it, we've got quite a lot to do over the next few days.
Yeah.
So I reckon probably off to the tavern.
Can we look around first, one last round around the village, and see if anyone didn't put the meat
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
All
in
right.
front of the
Yeah.
door?
Is there any houses sticking out like a sore thumb that one could be in danger or two are just very reluctant?
Or three, maybe it's them, so they know they don't need it.
Right. You don't see anything like that. It seems like everybody's pretty much conforming to this tradition.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I would say everyone's conforming to it religiously.
Hmm. I want to look at the statue. Maybe there's an inscription on it.
Right. The statue. You go over to the statue, and there is an inscription, and it does say "Sharaba Lenfit Dukai," our savior and basically, this person has been some sort of saint as far as the town is concerned.
Hmm. Okay.
Is he holding a weapon?
She, and yes,
Oh, geez, sorry.
yep, like basically the equivalent of a longsword for a halfling.
So a short sword.
Yeah, I guess.
Is there any kind of symbol on her, on the statue, that would indicate some kind of belonging to a group, like the swords, Lady of the Swords, or something like that?
There is a couple of symbols that relate to the primary pantheon of this general area, which doesn't really have a name. It's kind of a it's just more of a local religion thing that they have. It's like where they've taken gods from various parts of the world and various races. So, for example, they worship Moradin, they worship the Seldarine, because this town is made up of a mixture of different races. So they don't just stick to any one religion per se. They've kind of meshed them all together and created their own thing, which is very common. Everybody
Yeah.
kind of does that. It's not as organized as it is in the city, for example.
Now, I was just guessing that maybe that paladin halfling was linked to those to that order that the sheriff had contacted.
Right. Well, you don't know what their symbol is, so you
Right.
wouldn't
Does any
know.
of you know that? I don't.
No, I don't think any of you characters would know.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
But they are standing there with their shield, and she's like,
Pretty angelic
right,
or heroic, maybe.
right, very heroic. Yeah. 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 So they apparently this person, this is the site upon which the town was founded, and this is the site upon which the black stone was discovered that disappeared, that spoke to her, and gave her her holy mission or some shit like that, according to what you just heard.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah, probably had one too many mushrooms.
Quite likely. Quite likely.
And that's the cleric saying that.
I don't know. Yeah, mushrooms, clerics, druids. It used to be back in the day where you had to be didn't you have to be a cleric before you could become a druid? Oh no, that's a bard. No, sorry, a monk. That's right, monks. You had to play a cleric
Right.
to become a monk.
Yeah, in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, that was a
Yeah.
nightmare to become some of the classes.
Yeah, right. I never even got there. You'd be like, I want
I
to
mean,
be.
I am trained in survival, so I do know a thing or two about some special shrooms if you're interested.
Oh, we've got some great shrooms in the Feywild. Don't you worry. I'll have to get them for you.
Did you
next
bring
time
any?
we're in
Did
the
you bring
area.
any for later?
Not for later. No, consumed them all already. I'm afraid.
Ah, damn it. I mean, not for now, obviously.
We'll keep it.
Your now that it's getting dark, by the way, your companion, Lillian,
Yeah, Lillian.
she tells you that she's feeling a bit uncomfortable in this place. This town is making her a bit edgy.
Well,
Like she
Well,
can. She says I can. She speaks. Can she speak telepathically? I would think that's possible. You
I
think?
don't know actually. I not at the moment. I think she just kind of whispers in your ear.
All right.
I think that's a connection that you can have as you level up, but I don't
Right.
think at the moment.
Okay.
Back of the chain is the bomb.
Yeah.
She says I can hear a deafening hum. A deafening hum. It's buzzing in my ears.
Where's it coming from?
Everywhere. Everywhere. Everywhere.
Anything I
Is
can
she
do?
all right?
Yeah, I'm worried.
She says I need to go and lie down.
All right, let's get you to bed.
Right. So she
Looking
buzzes
after my
off.
girl.
She
Yeah,
buzzes
let's
off.
go. It's too dark. We need. It's getting cold. We need some nice food and drink.
Yeah. Inside is
Rest.
safe.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, as you're heading inside, you also notice that there's the door to the temple across the street is open, and you briefly, as you walk past, you can glimpse various citizens of the town inside there, moving around, and shadows and what have you. There's a fair bit of light coming out of there, and there's people moving from the temple to the inn and back and forth, and a couple of other stores around the town. You walk past a bowyer. There's this half elf making fletchings, and he's just closing up shop as you're passing, and he nods to you as you go past.
Mhm.
Not back.
What else would you see? Um, yeah. There's an apothecary across the street as well. Yep, but that's most of it. So there's mostly just people carrying bits and pieces, setting up for the ceremonies and festival in 2 nights' time, 3 nights' time.
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
so
and that's the same night that the weapon is supposed to be dropped off at the foot of the tree with the carving. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
correct.
So I'm assuming we'll have to decide whether we want to be around for the festivities or if we want to be catching or cutting off this girl that's dropping off the weapon, if that's something we need.
To talk to the person, but I don't think the person would know anything.
No, I
they're
think
just
that
a
would be
messenger.
more to acquire it than because
Yeah.
certainly Sir Thomas isn't going to use it anymore, is he?
Yeah, we could actually get that weapon.
Yeah, if it might be a help.
Yeah.
Either way, it's 3 nights away. We've got a long way before then.
We need to make sure that no one's eavesdropping on us though when we are having this conversation because we don't know who's connected. But Althea, you were talking about actually warning them about the creature. So we may want to talk to
It seems
Oswald
like they
about
already
that.
know. It seems like they already
Yeah.
know that there's something out there. So they're
they
already
know?
taking precautions.
Do you think they know, or do you think they're just doing it because it's tradition?
Bit of both, as long as it
I
works.
suspect they know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see what the morning brings.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to the tavern and you spend the evening in your rooms.
Yeah.
Well, after eating and drinking with the locals.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so there's
Dwarven
definitely
food.
right. Well, the dwarven food is pretty good, especially from your point of view. Felden.
Falnen.
Yep.
Falnen.
Felden.
Well,
Damn it! I keep saying it wrong, and I wrote that name.
then.
No biggie.
So okay, so that's all good and well. Sag Gazara is in there, making sure that everybody's getting what they need. Everyone's a little bit busy and distracted with the festivities. People are coming in shifts, so you'll see like 3 or 4 young ladies will come in, giggling and what have you, because they're wearing their costumes for the festival, and they're still making adjustments to things and sewing things up and getting little sequins put on them and stuff like that. And they'll come in as a group and they'll get fed. And funnily enough, you notice that Sarg is feeding everybody for free tonight. In fact, you get the impression that the food over the next couple of days, especially for the people working for the festival, they're going to get fed for free. And apparently there's a shipment, or shall I say a wagon, coming in the morning with more things for the festival and more food and supplies for the town. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Great.
yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah.
So you'd be sitting there with your ears open, I assume, while you're eating and such?
Oh, yeah, we'll be.
Yeah.
If there's something interesting to pick up on of the evening, we know that George Gilly was in here last night and he was hanging out with some people. So I'd probably ask around, see if anyone knows anything that might lead to why he was killed, or that someone that maybe held a grudge. But apart from that, no, it would just be mostly a light evening of conversation rather than like full investigation mode.
Right.
I think we don't want to make a lot of enemies in the town straight away.
Well, that makes sense.
I like this straight away.
Yeah, give it 2 days, and then we could just murder hobo everyone.
Right. Okay.
That was a joke. Let's not murder hobo anyone.
Don't worry. I'm just checking my notes. So give me a minute to figure out exactly what has to happen in the next step. Speak among yourselves. Feel free to stay in character and talk.
I can imagine what Foulman looks like, mostly because you've got a picture sitting there. But Althea, what is your character like? I don't think we got a physical description of her, did we?
No, I don't really have one. There's a picture on the place. He seems to have silvery hair, pointed ears, of course, very fair. I think quite young, not really knowing too much about the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Young for an elf, so what, probably
young for an elf, so 100, 102, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm in mid 50s, I think. No, early 40s. I am 43 years old.
Early 40s. So you're quite young as well for a dwarf, I think.
Yeah. For a dwarf, I'm quite young, but I don't think dwarves live as long as elves.
No, elves are quite long. Really,
300,
really long.
I think, for elves, 400 for dwarves, or 300, something like that.
I was
what about you, Valis? What do you look like?
So he's an Eladrin, which at the moment he has kind of long red hair that flows down just past his shoulders. Very fair.
So you're in your autumn.
Yes, yeah. He's full autumn mode. He's got these large, almost like comically long ears that stick out the back and kind of like bob up and down as he walks.
So he's like a blood, no, not a blood elf. What are the elves in World of Warcraft?
Oh yeah,
blood elves.
They do look a bit like that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he looks very similar to a blood elf. Kindly, like very, very friendly, approachable features. He's certainly like he's a class of a warlock, but he's not really a warlock. Like he certainly doesn't
until you turn winter, and then we'll see who's friendly.
Yeah. When it's probably actually starting to happen already. When he is in winter, when he is in the bitter cold, his hair starts to go a little bit white at the tips, and you'll get almost like rogue style strips of white appear in his hair.
So your changes will be progressive, not overnight, end of a long rest kind of changes.
Okay. It's not just like, he wakes up and all of a sudden I'm blonde.
Because for some Eladrin I've read, apparently that's how it can happen, like a traumatic event or something, and suddenly they just snap after a long rest and they just change.
Yeah, some do definitely. But Valis is more of a slow burn.
So some of the people that you come into contact through the tavern, just sitting there listening and watching and keeping an eye out, you find out the cook's name. His name is Othel Farhorn, who also, funnily enough, you can smell he has a brewery of some description out the back as well. So he's obviously a brewer.
Nice.
There's Downstairs, because you're staying here, you begin to figure out too. There's a woman called Cathra, who's a part-time volunteer, and she seems to be working in the kitchen for some reason for free. Like she must owe them something or something like that. You're not sure how that works. There's a half elf called Henrietta who comes in and.
But Cathra, what's her race?
She's a human.
Human.
Henrietta is apparently the apothecary, and she just lives up the street. But she spends some time here. She comes in and talks to Sarg, and she and Sarg actually go out back through the kitchen and have a conversation and spend some time. And then when she comes back out again, she looks kind of a bit pissy, actually. And then she just leaves the tavern and walks off. You see the half-elf Bowyer that you saw earlier, who was making fletchings, come through. Tom, did you get the message I sent you?
I just spotted it. So I was just waiting for you to wrap up, and then I'll make a suggestion.
Okay. George Gilly. Wait a minute. That's something else entirely. Right. So those are the main things. Oswald, of course, spends some time, and actually, yes, Oswald. That reminds me, Oswald. But there's the barman is a fellow called Edmund Talbot, and he's also the stable keeper. He seems a bit jittery and concerned about something as you sit there having drinks and what have you. He seems to be quite distracted. In fact, he spills.
Does he look at someone in particular?
No, he doesn't. He just seems generally distracted. And he spills his drink. He's bringing drinks to your table, and he actually tips one of the drinks all over Althea. Just this glass just spills it all over you. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll clean it up immediately. I'm so sorry." And he just runs off.
No.
He comes back a minute later and he's got a towel and things. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." He begins. It's like, probably I should let you clean that up. Is there anything else I can get you folks?
Yeah, you could explain why you're so flustered. Are you okay? I'm frightfully worried about you.
Well, all the things that have been going on lately, and I wish it's terrible, and people going missing and things.
It's true. It does look a bit tragic. We're trying to help with the situation at the moment. I don't suppose you have any information that could help us solve this. We're doing what we can, but we're coming up against some dead ends.
Well, I heard the barn got burned down today, and I understand that you just survived that. That must have been terrible for you. I'm so sorry that you come all the way to our town, and all these terrible things keep happening to you. I'm so sorry.
Does he mean it?
Yeah,
Inside check.
Inside genuine. You can try.
I don't trust the bugger. Not 20.
Nice.
Yeah, you think he's pretty genuine. You're not
genuinely worried for our safety.
You don't think he's lying or anything. He really does seem a bit embarrassed, actually, that these tall, dark strangers, except for you because you're not very tall,
hey,
have wandered into town and just basically had a terrible time of it so far.
And then he spills his drink on Althea as well.
Yeah, right. Well, he spills Althea's drink. It's actually Althea's drink that he spilled on her. And he did bring you another one, actually, by the way. So
that's good.
I think maybe we should bring these drinks upstairs. Clearly, things are going a bit awry down here.
I see Oswald come moving through the crowd in his long black fur and his hat on. Well, if it isn't the adventurers. Have you discovered anything yet?
Sorry, Falnan, I'll let you do the talking.
He looks around at each of you.
Yes, we did.
Oh, you did
And
you?
yes, and we'd rather not talk about it with in front of everyone here.
Well, perhaps you'd like to come to my rooms.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Lead the
Well,
way.
well, get us some whiskey. We'll need some drinks.
In your elbow, Oswald. In your elbow when you cough, please.
Social distancing in Graymoor.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the curse going on, you have
Right.
no
Nope.
idea what's going to happen next.
Don't want to spread the curse.
Right.
I breathe through my beard and my mustache, so I'm good.
Right. It's like a mask, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you go through to Oswald's room, which it's very, very tidy, like exceptionally tidy, very clean. Everything is in exactly the right place. He's got a table there with some books on it, and they're all perfectly straight. There's some parchment that's all stacked up and lined up perfectly. There's a quill and an inkwell. And then Gwyll brings in a bottle of like a decanter of some sort of mead or something, some alcohol, and he very carefully begins to pour out. And Oswald himself takes the decanter and begins to pour out some small glasses, and they're very small glasses of whatever this is. And he says, "Please, gentlemen, lady." And he indicates to some seats that he has over on the side, and the seats are perched up underneath this window that's has these drop-down curtains that are all kind of have these curves. And anyway, yeah, you get the picture.
Oh, take a drink, take a seat.
It's quite warm in here. He has a fireplace. Actually, it's the back of the fireplace to the kitchen. Funnily enough, so it's one of those. You know how that they used to do that. They'd put a fireplace.
Double opening.
Yeah. So, what can you tell me, ladies and gentlemen?
I sit so that I can actually see through the fireplace in case there's someone trying to eavesdrop from the other side to listen on the conversation.
Right, cunning, very cunning.
So
Oswald takes a peek down there as he sees you looking in. What are you doing?
you never know who might be listening in. You do realize you have a murderer around, and you wouldn't want the murderer to know what we know.
Well, then we better do this. He shuts the plate on the front of the fireplace and locks it. There.
Much better.
Now, please continue.
So I try to look at his facial expression as we are telling him what we're gonna tell him.
Okay.
See if he reacts as in surprise, genuine surprise, or hiding.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Fallon is extremely paranoid.
Right.
He almost burned in a freaking barn, so.
Right.
Should we test him with something to see if he's got any interesting information? And I'll pull out one of the books that we got from from the smithy earlier, with the blueprints in there, and I'll say, "Oh, we saw that George is working on this sort of contraption. I don't suppose this is something well known in the village."
He looks at it and says, "That's very interesting. I wonder if we paid for that. I'm sure there's some tax-related costs here."
I agree. I don't suppose you'd know what something like this would be for in the area.
It looks like some sort of contraption, doesn't it?
Yes, very astute.
Couldn't tell you what that's for. I can't think. It might be for the temple. That could be what it is. I understand they had some sort of lock fixed on the door there. Father Dalagar told me. Or so I've heard, actually. Sir Dalagar talked about some papal writ, some sort of thing. Not a papal writ. I'm using analogs from real life. Some kind of official document came through from the local community of churches and temples, requesting that what was it he said? Something about gnolls. We do get gnolls down here from time to time. Yeah.
Gnolls. Those are dog-like creatures, aren't they?
What?
Gnolls are dog-like creatures, aren't they?
Yes, hyenas, I think. Hyenas, yes. Yes, very nasty creatures. You wouldn't want to mess with those. No. We haven't seen any of you for years, but apparently there's a pack of them in the frost moors pillaging.
When you
Have a bit of the black lung.
huh.
It seems.
Does he seem to have longer ears, more hair on his face than the first time we met him?
You can roll if you like.
Yeah.
All right.
You never know.
All right. Perception.
Ooh.
He looks exactly the same.
Okay.
Should we show him the box? See if he knows how to
actually,
get.
have you found any key when you found the sheriff's body?
A key.
And cleaned up his house? Did you find any key on him?
No keys. But that does ring a bell. Key. Let me see. He opens some notebooks and starts flicking through some things. Yes, a few weeks ago. Months goes back. Yes, here we are. Yes, the apothecary has a key. The key was stolen from her house some time ago. This is the apothecary. No, nothing came of that, I understand. These are some of the notebooks from Sir Thomas's house. I had them delivered here as the acting sheriff of the locale.
Yeah, you should show him the box in case he knows more about it.
Yeah.
Box?
I think.
What box?
Althea, you had pocketed that, hadn't you? So.
Yeah.
You have a box? What are you talking about?
Zip up to the room and grab the box and come back down and say, "Have you seen this before?"
He looks at it, puts it on the table, right? I've not seen this particular box before, but you should get that opened, I would think.
I agree.
That's
Do you know
a good idea.
Might be able to help us?
Oh, yes, there's a dark elf. Her name is Xanth, I think. Let me check. Learning all the names of these people out here, it takes forever. Zalanth Tass, yes, a drow. Yes, I don't trust her myself. But she has a kind of a workshop, if you like. She works as a bit of a locksmith, makes other various mechanical oddities and things. Not very forthcoming, though. I think she has a lot of secrets.
But she might know about those contraptions, though.
Oh, she could probably open this lock, I would say that much.
Oh, sounds like that's our first stop tomorrow then.
Yep.
Yes.
She might even be out there now. She comes to the tavern from time to time.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
You notice
because we never know who might not survive the night.
Good idea. All right, we'll on our way out after the conversation.
Tom, you notice as he coughs, there's blood on his hand. There's a little bit of specks of blood on his hand.
I would address it and say, "Are you okay?" I'll offer him.
Yes, I'm perfectly fine, thank you. There's a bit of wine I spilled earlier. No concern of yours.
I'll go over to him and I'll get down to his height and just looking into his eyes. I'm just gonna. It just seems to be there's like a green flash just goes past my eyes a little bit, and I'm going to use Fey Presence on Oswald, which is a DC 12 Wisdom check, or I'm going to charm him.
Ooh, okay.
So kind of a bit of a Fey beguiling.
All right, and then what do you do?
We're friends here. You can be honest with us. What's wrong? We can help.
Of course I can be honest with you. I'm nothing but honest. I live for honesty and security and all the... He goes rambling about how honest he is, essentially.
Okay. So he honestly doesn't feel like he knows what's wrong with him.
Yeah.
And doesn't think that there's a way to help.
Well, you get the impression that if there's anything wrong with him, and he's in fucking denial of it.
Okay.
Can I do a medicine check to try to work out, or have I not noticed anything?
You didn't notice this.
Okay.
No.
This was just
That's fine.
I
I was just trying to
I
get a straight answer out of the guy and
I
be
just
sure
used
that
his-
he's giving me the truth. So that's fine.
I used your passive wisdoms to
Yeah.
figure out
Makes sense.
who noticed it.
Okay.
So yes, I suggest you talk to Zaylanth about that
Yes.
box.
Let's
In
go
fact,
find her.
Yes, off you go then. Good
Pick up
luck.
the box, pick up the books, head back out.
All
Yeah.
right.
Take the books as well. Once we're outside,
I'm
I don't
gonna-
think it's.
Yep. He was well.
Once we're outside, is he following us?
He follows
Okay.
you out of the room and into the tavern.
Yeah.
He says,
I
gonna
wait until
use
he's way past us,
right.
and then I turn towards the others and I say, I don't think it's a great idea to tell him everything we know. He doesn't seem to really care about what is going on.
Mhm.
Like, he's been appointed sheriff, but he doesn't seem to be really that motivated into actually doing the work. Like, he seems to be way over his head.
But we might still need his help at some point. I agree. Let's maybe meet him halfway. Give him the information that we think.
So we
he
didn't
needs
tell
to
him
know.
anything about those werewolves. And honestly, I think they're rumors about gnolls maybe linked to that. Either those were not gnolls, or the gnolls have brought some kind of disease or curse onto them
Yeah.
some time ago.
Let's go see if we can find this Zaylath. Maybe that will lead to some answers and clear
Yeah,
some of the...
true. Might be able to open the box and see what's in, and maybe talk to one of the priests from the temple and see if the contraption has a link to
Father
that.
Dalinar. What's going on? All right, we'll go and see if we can find this drow girl sitting in the tavern.
All right. Well, it doesn't take you long to figure out who she is, because she is in fact a drow. And when you approach her, she kind of looks up and looks a little bit spooked.
I got a big smile on my face.
The fact that she has your attention seems to be of some concern to her automatically. She looks up at you guys. She doesn't say anything.
Can we sit down?
Yes, please.
With you. Thank
Please
you.
sit down.
I wave at one of the wenches,
What?
waitresses.
Okay.
What do you want to drink?
I'm drinking. Thank you. I have a drink here.
Oh, okay. I asked for another beer, and I just finished the one I'm having.
Okay. Plop it on the thing, and then off it goes. And shortly there will be another one. Okay. How can I help you all?
We have some
Oswald
work.
says you might be interested or can tell us something about this box that we have.
You'll have to show it
Seen
to
one of
me.
these before? I pop it down on the table in front of me.
Huh.
When she puts the box on the table, I look around to see if I notice anyone paying too much attention on us.
Okay. Everybody is paying attention to you.
Nice.
Excellent.
Center of attention.
Everybody in the room is basically looking at you, and the conversations have all gone hushed.
Okay.
I turn around. I
Mhm.
stand up, turn around, and say, "Hey, go to your own conversations."
They look back at each other, and they very slowly start to stumble back into their awkward conversations.
I get a big smile on my face, and I
Okay.
wait until they are actually fully conversing. But go for it. I say to Althea and Valis. And I look at people around. If someone stops their conversation, I look at them and I point my finger at them with a frown on my face.
All right, you're on conversation duty. You keep everyone busy. Meanwhile, we'll get the box out and ask if Zaylanth has any idea how to get this thing open.
I will need my tools to open it, but yes, I think I can open this.
Is that something we can do tonight? We can pay.
If we must, yes, we can do it now. She moves her glass and stands up, takes another swig of her drink, and puts it on the thing. Come then, I'll take
About the
you.
contraption in the book. Ask her about the contraption in the book.
I will. Let's just wait until we're not around everyone in the bar. It sounds like we're going to her place anyway. So I'll make sure I bring the book with us so we can ask her about that while we're in her shop, which is where I'm assuming we're going.
Yep.
Are we going to your shop?
Yes, that's where we're going.
Perfect. Lead the way.
So she takes you down the street and around the corner and down another street, and you get to this shop, and she takes you in through the back door into the shop itself. The house is on the front side and the shop's at the back. And it's just a workshop. And it's got a lot of tools and things that are, it's a much more, I mean, I don't know personally a whole lot about metalworking, but she doesn't have a forge, unlike the blacksmith, but she has a lot of metalworking tools for making much more delicate kinds of things. So she gets to work and she says, "I'll probably take me an hour to do this. I'm not sure, unless you want me to simply break it open."
No, take your time.
Yeah. So,
Agreed.
All right. She seems quite introverted. She doesn't really seem very interested in talking, or if she is, she's not very
I
interested.
tried to make conversation with her.
Okay. And she's not extraordinarily receptive to conversation, but she just keeps tinkering away, and she's working this thing. So unless you've got anything in particular that you want to do in that hour,
Wow, an hour.
yeah.
Not
Wow.
overly. I mean, we can study the books a bit more, see if we can find anything in there. But no, mostly I think we just need the box open, don't we?
All right.
I did come with my beer because I didn't just chuck it once it arrived. So I got my beer with me. So I'm good for at least half an hour, just
Okay.
sipping on it quietly.
All right. I'll make some checks with her to see how fast I can get this thing open.
Right.
Well, actually, the first 15 minutes, it springs open. Boonk! And
Oh, wow.
she opens it, and she steps back from it. There you go. That's it. That's your lock. That's
And I'll give her a gold piece.
she accepts it without any
Oh,
question.
yeah. Of course you give a gold and then people accept it. I try and people tell me no.
Well, this is good for services.
It's a fair exchange. It's more than a fair exchange, actually, but that's.
Yeah.
Do you have a gold piece?
A 10 apparently.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yes. Starting equipment was 10 gold pieces.
Right. Wow.
I'm rich. I'm one shot rich.
Right. You could live for a month on a gold piece. All right.
Okay, I'm interested. So the box is popped open and is sitting on the desk?
Yep, on the
What's in the
workbench.
box?
Okay, well, it's something. There's cloth. There's this very this purple cloth.
We'll lift it out and do you guys want to do this here? Okay
on the outside of the purple cloth, you'll notice there's a symbol of the shattered moon.
Okay.
Do I have to
lift
take
it out and
magic or
we'll
something?
slowly, carefully unfold it. See what's inside the cloth.
Feels very light, whatever it is, and it's also solid.
Light and solid, like a metal, like a light metal, or like mithril or silver.
Could be something like that. Yeah.
What does it look like?
Can I try to detect magic?
If you've got detect magic, you can try it.
It's a ritual. As a ritual, can I do that as a
10 minutes
as a cleric?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you've got the ritual, yeah. If it's
one action plus 10 minutes. Components, verbal and somatic. I'm doing it. I'm doing that.
Okay, so everybody's going to stand back while he does this ritual. Okay.
Should have probably done that sooner when we got the box in the first place.
All good. We're here now.
Okay, well, after about 10 minutes, you begin to realize that indeed whatever is wrapped up in this cloth is in fact magical. There is indeed a magic aura glowing from it.
Do I have its School of Magic as well?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean, if it's too much trouble, that's fine.
I would say that you would, but I don't know what it is. That's the funny thing.
No problem. No biggie. It may not have traversed that box because it cannot traverse 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal,
yeah, that's right,
a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. So depending on what the box is made of, it may not have given anything.
Funnily enough, the last group that played this adventure tried it on the box and they failed.
Uh,
So you did the right thing.
so we've got this thing, something that was wrapped in
Yep.
what was it, purple fabric with the shattered moon on it, and this thing is magical.
Yep.
What is the thing?
Okay, do you open the cloth?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you actually open it. Okay,
Unwrap it.
well, inside it is what is essentially an arrowhead. It's
Okay.
an arrowhead with an arc, kind of like a crescent arrowhead on the tip, and it has Elven script on it.
Ooh, I speak Elvish.
Yeah.
We all do.
I don't think the Eladrin does, actually. I think Eladrin speaks Sylvan, not Elvish.
Alright.
I speak.
It's odd, but I don't know. Maybe you do speak Elvish. I don't know.
Yeah, I do speak Elvish.
Okay.
Can we read it?
Well,
Aw.
if you can read it, but as to whether you can understand the context of it, you would have to make an Arcana check.
Could I do that?
I'm
Yep.
not trained in Arcana, so I probably wouldn't.
If you got Arcana, Tom,
I do have Arcana.
right? Because you're.
Nice.
What was that?
Wow. Okay, 20. Nice. Okay.
Oh, nice. Right.
Well, it is an arrow of you see the words shape changer and slaying.
It's a silver bullet.
Yeah.
What's a bullet?
Right.
What's in the box?
Right. Well, that I can think of one of us that is probably quite akin to using a bow.
Yeah.
And I'll look
But
over
it
to
is-
our range.
This is just an arrowhead.
Literally just an arrowhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We saw Fletcher earlier,
Yeah.
so we
Yeah.
could ask the Fletcher to make an arrow from it. Unless, maybe actually, Althea, maybe you are actually trained in those.
Well, I've got a bunch of arrows already. I could swap the heads on, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to fix the head onto it, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Could find the Fletcher to do that, or give it a go yourself tonight.
Well, we'll have a go at doing it myself before.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's involved with that? How easy is it?
how easy is it? It would probably take a few minutes. It's basically mostly it's about gluing it in there somehow, gluing the arrowhead into the socket.
Well, we're in a workshop, aren't we?
Gluing the thing into the socket, basically. Yeah, you are in a workshop, but you need to use something that's not going to just burn the arrow shaft. So what glues are generally made from animal sinew and stuff like that, and saps and plants. So she doesn't really have that kind of material here. She could actually, you could wire it on. You could wire it on. She could give you.
We'll go to the professionals. We've already had passing nodding acquaintance to the Fletcher earlier today.
Let's
So
face
we'll
it,
see if we
you're blowing gold pieces left, right, and center. Now you're going to quibble over a Fletcher.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go to the Fletcher and see what he can do.
So the short story is
First, can we show the book and see if she can make sense of the
Zaylanth
of the contraption in the book?
Yep, is that a consensus? You're going to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Zaylanth looks at the contraptions in the book, and she says there's something interesting about these two things. Like, first of all, like one of them is obviously a lock. The other one seems to be some sort of contraption that's using that. There's a piece of the first image that is not explained very well, and it seems to be more. It makes more sense if you consider the second image, where there's a shaft that goes in from one to the other. It's almost as if it's like another control for a lock, like some kind of, like if you wanted to you wanted to close that lock remotely from a different room or something like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Am I explaining myself very well? And she's
Like
not very clear about it either, to be fair. So it's I'm trying not to.
So it's like you put the lock, say, on a door,
Yeah.
and you use the rod or shaft to access the lock and close it from a distance, so you wouldn't be right next to whatever you're locking.
Right, exactly. So you could possibly be in a different room or different locale from the actual lock itself. It wouldn't be very far. It could only be a few meters at the most. But yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. If you
Thank
wanted to lock up a beastie that could have your arm off, that makes a lot of sense to have.
Right.
Yeah. Just you need to be in the place. You need the beastie to be in the place you're trying to lock. And if the beastie is on the other side of the door, I mean, what is it gonna do? That's very confusing.
Yeah. Just a quick one, guys. While we're here, I've probably got about another 15 minutes left. I don't know what the rest of you guys are like time-wise. But
Sorry,
if you did
you say 50 or 15?
15, 1-5.